What is going on, everybody? It is episode 468 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I am here with my co-host. Would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Well, everyone is back from Miami, so we got to drag a couple of people into the studio to join us today. Firstly, Sara.
Hello,
How are you?
we're back.
How were coffee sales in Miami?
They were great. We sold out of Roberto Jr. We sold out of our Revenge shirts, most of our Cast Brew coffee shirts. The people loved the coffee.
Nothing for, like, what about Bocus? Was there Bocus coffee?
The Bocus was selling pretty well in the Appalachian Nights. Honestly, everything we brought, we sold most of, if not all of.
That's awesome.
That's
awesome.
Okay, and then Cara.
Hello, I'm Cara. I answer your emails.
How you doing?
TimCast.com. I'm doing all right. We're getting the voice fixed a little bit. The ears drained, as soon as I landed in Miami. So that all got into my lungs, and we're clearing it up now. So.
Oh, yeah.
I was telling people a story that last week, because I loved it. This whole place was empty. It was
creepy.
It was glorious. What she calls creepy, I call glorious. It was amazing. And so you left on Saturday.
Yep.
Right? You left on Saturday.
Left Saturday.
So, but you got back the following Saturday.
Saturday, yep.
See, and I was like, the week went by so fast. I was like, when you got back, I'm like, didn't she just leave this morning?
That's so funny.
Like,
well,
I was like, oh, that was a week ago.
Did it feel like
Whole
I was
week.
gone? I was gone for like almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was
a week
almost
and a
2
half.
weeks for
you
Yeah.
must have loved
How did
it.
the show go on?
How did we do it?
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna help out in a couple weeks, right?
Oh, yes, I will be. Yes,
So,
yes.
Yeah, we somehow we made it. We made it
Good.
without you guys.
We don't need you guys
All right.
anyways.
Didn't even know we were gone.
We're fine
Okay.
on our own.
You
We don't
missed
need
it.
In
it.
fact, we were
It's
better
okay.
on our own.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'll just leave.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
I'm kidding. Don't leave.
Exactly. Guys, we have a bunch of stuff to talk about today. Big news has come out because, as usual, somebody's releasing a book, so titillating conversation has to happen. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have been separated for 7 years, and that calls into question a lot of things. Was the entanglement actually an entanglement? Why the hell would you punch a guy for a woman you're not even living with anymore? Chris Rock is literally the victim of having to play it up as if you guys are still together. So we're going to talk about that. It's very strange to me, but it's Hollywood. Makes perfect sense. We're also going to talk a little bit about how there is a rumor going around right now that Universal Comcast is looking to purchase Warner Brothers Discovery at some point in the next 2 years, which is very, very quickly. So I want to talk about that. I've got a lot of thoughts. Also, tell me about what's going on with Julia Fox.
Julia Fox is putting out a memoir as well. Women be writing memoirs these days, huh?
It
They have
really
a lot
is,
to say.
It really is like the celebrity to trauma to memoir pipeline.
So Julia Fox is also putting out a memoir, and she is going to be trauma dumping about her relationship with Kanye that lasted less than a month.
Yeah.
Really milking
great.
that still. But the detail, I just love the salacious details. Like, I'm falling for the marketing ploy.
I'm shocked it was so short-lived because she talks about it still constantly. So I had no
And she
idea.
talks
There's
about
also
it,
nothing
to be
else
fair,
interesting about her.
Like,
Yeah.
because people
Yeah.
keep asking her about it. Like, they're not going to stop asking her about it until she tells all.
Yeah, I just thought it was a lot longer. Wow.
But I
Only
didn't know
2
about
months.
this pee incident that she details in the
I shared it
memoir.
with you today. I was like, because to me, I was just like,
Kanye
look,
is known
it's a-
for peeing in places where he is not supposed to pee.
It's if you're a guy and you've ever gone to a college bar and there's been some type of alleyway behind that bar, I'm just saying that it's not anything
Are
new.
you saying all guys do this?
I did not. I would never.
I mean, I would if I was a guy.
We just got back from Miami and I saw 2 dudes openly peeing like on a main street just
my
into the
gosh.
puddles. So apparently it happens. It's a thing. Maybe in Kanye.
It's a privilege.
I don't know.
Yeah, he was like, he felt like he was blessing that wall with his urine. Most likely. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about a United States streamer named Johnny Somali, not related to Johnny Tsunami, completely different person, who has been arrested in Japan for committing criminal acts, including threatening them with nuclear war. Okay, that's a little bit of an exaggeration.
It's
but
not. It's not at all.
He's been arrested, so we're going to get into it because people will be doing anything they can for fame these days, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and get started. But before we do, would you hit the like button on this video? Would you subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? We did just pass 72,000 subscribers, so thank you very much. We are on our way to 75,000. Thank you for that. Hit the like button on this video and turn the notification bell on so you can be notified anytime one of these episodes or segments goes live. I actually saw a couple of comments recently that said they get notified for everything but the movie reviews. Like they never see when we cut
YouTube
up the
has a
segments.
vendetta against our movie
Yeah,
reviews.
they don't like it. So we got that. We also remember all super chats $20 and over. We will interrupt the discussion. We will read them right then and there. Then we will get right back on topic. So if you three ladies are ready, we will get started. Cara, are you ready?
Ready.
Ready.
The estrogen in the room is spoken, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get going. All right, first things first, there's a couple of quick announcements here. Not looking good for Aquaman right now. Even after the sequel was recut, test screenings for Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom reportedly still received a score in the low 60s. Not exactly a passing grade, and not exactly good for Warner Brothers when they've had failure after failure after failure.
I think that instead of an Aquaman 2, they should have made a Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy movie. Mm-hmm. That would have done numbers.
Mm-hmm. They could have just made the Mara movie and just made Amber Heard the star.
A Mara movie.
They could have done that. That'd have been
How
great.
would that do well just because of hate watching?
No. Maybe on streaming. Maybe it's like a streaming show, but I don't think anyone's going to pay the exorbitant prices it costs to go to the theaters just because they want to boo Amber Heard for an hour and 45 minutes.
Well, this also says that the current version of the movie hasn't been screen tested at all.
So
So they're just gonna throw it out there. They don't really care.
And you
They're
know
over
that
it.
there's going to be at least one cut where they're going to just cut Amber Heard out of it entirely. Like some people always do that. Like there's people that went back through the Avengers movies and cut out all the women. Like because
How,
of the
how long are the movies then?
still pretty much the same length because
Okay.
it was old Marvel.
Okay.
It's like it's the way it was back then. There wasn't as much
Tell us
forced
more,
diversity about it. All the way back in 2019, all those years
Back
ago.
in the good old days.
Back in the good old days
Before
we-
wokeness took over.
We had to put up. Hey, Ghostbusters with all women was in 2016, so it'd already been going on for a couple of years there. All right, guys. So it's coming up. We've got that. We've got the Marvels. I can't say that I'm looking very much to either of them, but we are going to have these movies to be coming out. We will be reviewing it, so have no fear that will be happening. Do you guys okay? So, given everything you know about what happened with Amber Heard, would it bother you guys to watch something with her in it?
I mean, if she's good at it, it
Would you
wouldn't bother
boycott?
me. No. I don't
yeah.
boycott Michael Jackson's music. His music's great, but he's just an artist.
Yeah.
But he had
that's how you gotta see him.
sleepovers with children.
Yeah. I mean,
Nothing you can do.
Yeah, but
about
I
that.
wasn't
She's not
there.
like that great of an actress though. So I'd be like, her
Yeah.
work is so incredible. I can overlook.
Yeah.
It's like
that's
Bud
just
Light
abuse.
again. Like I wasn't
Yeah.
drinking Bud Light anyway, so
yeah.
boycott approved.
Yeah, she's like, I won't boycott art on principle, kind of. Like, it's like there's plenty of, especially given the sliding scale of what people consider boycottable offenses. Like, a lot of people will just not watch a lot of movies and television these days just because the celebrities in them say stuff that they don't like. Well, that's the case du jour for most people, and I'm not going to use it. First of all, it's impossible to keep up with it. Like,
Yeah.
the average person can't keep up. They've got, like, their checklist. Like, I'm going to have this list on my phone. Like, somebody should create a database, the anti-woke patriot database. That's what it'll be called, patriot database.
I mean, isn't that just public square?
Yeah, well, no, this is the opposite, where it's like
Plug.
you're watching a movie, so it's like IMDb, or it's like, have you ever noticed, like, if you watch Amazon Prime, if you pause a scene and you click down, it has a feature called X-Ray, which lists all the actors that are in that scene. First of all, that's just like powered by IMDb, right? But like, I need one where I can take a picture of a scene and it lists all their stupid
All their
tweets.
cancelable offenses. Well, I've learned, I didn't know this, but Jason Momoa has a lot of haters because
Yeah, 'cause
he
of
made
the
a
Hawaii
joke
thing.
about because he made a joke about raping beautiful women
So what he said was he loves doing fantasy and sci-fi.
so he can rip
because-
people's tongues out
So-
of their throats and rape beautiful women. It was a joke.
It was a joke.
But then
Because his
he
character did it in Game of
apologized for
Thrones.
the joke.
Okay, right.
Okay,
yeah.
so but he apologized. I'm like, but what I noticed that he didn't apologize to the people who have had their tongues ripped out because they couldn't complain about it. They're like, right? Like,
Yeah.
See, this is gonna end up being your cancelable offense
because
you're gonna get
I
clips
mimicked a person
Yeah,
who
making
doesn't
fun
have
of
a
mute
who had
tongueless
their,
person.
I have a
Yeah.
hole in my tongue, so technically I'm half.
You're halfway there.
I'm halfway there, right?
Why do you have a hole in your tongue?
I bit through it when I was very young.
Oh, okay. Not pierced. Okay.
No,
Just
not pierced.
Accident. Got you.
My
Okay.
my brother powerbombed me through a table.
See, siblings,
Good times.
man.
You could have just
Kick
stopped
our
at
ass.
brother. I feel you. I got two.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, right?
My brother. Period.
All right, some other news, ladies and gentlemen. So, Marvel has let go of all of the writers and directors for Daredevil Born Again. this is good news because it's Disney, so likely their first choices were awful anyways. And they're talking about how they're restructuring the show to make it more of a darker action series as opposed to what they said it was going to be like, which was a courtroom drama where he wasn't even going to end up in the Daredevil costume until episode 4. But if you remember, they already tried to make She-Hulk attorney at law, and they realized that nobody there that got hired knew how to write scenes that involved the law.
That wasn't a legal drama. It was more a
It's called She-Hulk attorney at law.
a comedy.
I don't think that's why the show was bad, though.
But the point is, like, they said that what they said there was interviews with the showrunner said like when they got started they all got together, all the women, all the men that they get together and they're writing the show and they're like, yeah, we tried to write a courtroom drama and realized none of us know how, so we just stopped.
Yeah.
So, life comes at you fast.
Who is Megan Thee Stallion's manager who is like, I know the perfect cameos for you?
Yeah.
She-Hulk, you twerk in She-Hulk, and then you'll have an appearance in Dix the Musical.
Yeah, did you guys see
That's
that?
the logic.
Dix the Musical?
No.
It's an A24 movie coming
Please
out.
tell me it's about someone named Richard.
Yeah,
I
please.
said, what if it would be called like Musical the Dix or something like that? But yeah, no, it's a what is it called? It was literally described as a queer comedy.
It's a queer version of The Parent Trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
great.
the identical twins end up getting married in the film, so there's
Hollywood
that.
really loves to push those incest stories.
Yeah.
Even as a
They do,
joke.
man.
They do.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
They're like, love is love, even brotherly.
If you're related.
Yep. The crisis meter's catching up slow today, but it is working, ladies and gentlemen. Just a heads up. I don't know if that's the internet.
It says Brett was already canceled because of mocha hate. I just wanted to hear the story real quick.
He doesn't look canceled to me.
Look, just because Olivia has a derpy cat that I rightfully call out as derpy looking does not make me cancelable. It's not my fault. If you want me to not be mean to derpy cats, don't have derpy cats. It's
Make
simply,
better choices.
I almost
simple.
made the poll.
That's
We
simple.
almost made the poll today, Mocha versus Bocus, but I didn't want to do that to Mocha because I'm merciful, and I wouldn't do that to Mocha. I'm a kind.
You care about
I'm
the
a
derpy
benevolent.
cats. You
I'm a
just don't-
benevolent dictator.
Don't want to see them.
I know it's just that cat. It's just that cat.
how-
I love
Okay.
Bocus.
Yeah.
I post pictures of Bocus all the time. In fact, I was going to add Bocus to Cute of the Day today,
Aw.
but I decided to save it just in case. I've got
Yeah.
a whole arsenal of Bocus photos that we can use at some point.
do, yeah.
But it is
I got
what
a
it is.
question.
Wanted to
Is the Netflix Daredevil show on Netflix still, or did Disney Plus take it?
No, it's on Disney Plus now.
Okay.
That was a big deal when it first happened because they were talking about how it's absolutely not like a PG show. So it was like,
Does everything on Disney Plus have to be PG?
well, that was a big topic of discussion for a while, that when they started implementing these Netflix shows that were very clearly not PG, so they've kind of like softened the rules on that. And people were worried that they were going to get censored and be less edgy. But those shows were dark and very, very brutal. Especially that and like the scenes with the Punisher. So, they put content warnings before them, I believe.
Okay.
So, and speaking of bad news for Disney, they're getting in trouble because apparently they ran this ad for Loki season 2, and I've seen a lot of people talking about it, but apparently it looks like they created it with AI, and people are very mad as if they thought these companies weren't going to just keep doing this.
Right.
I mean, maybe they just thought no one would notice. Like, no
Possible.
one would catch it. But now that I'm looking at it, I didn't think it at first, but if you look at the background, it's a little wonky.
Yeah.
Like, it could definitely be made in Mid-Journey.
One of my favorite, some of my favorite normie influencers have been doing the yearbook AI challenge thing. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Anybody here done that?
Nah.
It's crazy realistic.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you?
I didn't try it, though.
You should try it.
Well, that's what these are all doing, is they're making the AI better.
Yeah, well, do you remember last year there was that trend going around where everybody would feed their image into this thing and it would give you an idealized version of yourself.
yeah.
And everybody was
even
posting.
those
I was like, you're feeding
images-
the algorithm.
Those images now look very primitive compared to what AI is capable of this
Yep,
year.
yep.
But this says, madly disappointed they're using AI-generated imagery to promote Loki. I don't know why you would be morally outraged by that, but someone said, are you sure it's AI? Looks like a badly photoshopped promo. The characters look like cutouts from frame grabs.
Which is actually like a perfect example of like an explanation of how AI is going to affect the workplace, which is like, sure, the really good Photoshop artists aren't going to lose their work, but the really mediocre ones could end up struggling to find work.
Graphic design is my passion.
Yeah, exactly. Like they could end up struggling because they're like, look, your work is subpar. We can feed this into Midjourney and get something better quicker, or
They're
at least
saying,
something on par quicker.
The clock is giving all the AI telltale signs, like things randomly turning into meaningless squiggles.
I love it. But one of the ones that this influencer posted was her. It was like all of it was like hers, and like her and her husband roasts them because like she has like a video series, she and Milani, where she'll sing popular songs and her husband will just make fun of her singing while she's doing it, and that's like the whole. It's called Interrupted. But she did this trend, and it's like posting all the photos, and he's making fun of her. And there's one where it's like she's like in a basketball uniform, but it doesn't have a number. It has a backwards letter C, and the name of the team is illegible and backwards because that's, those are the little details. That and fingers. They always get fingers.
Yeah,
wrong.
AI stands for.
Yeah. Fingers are difficult. So yeah. Disney's going to have all sorts of problems. We know that this is going to keep happening, and they're going to continue to use, and you're right, like maybe in a couple years, these types of segments where they'll be able to use AI won't be caught as easily.
Definitely,
They'll trick people more easily. Yep. Did you guys see that Kylie Jenner lost 330,000 Instagram followers after her post on Israel, in which she deleted?
I have not seen that.
The
That's
reports
proving.
I saw were larger numbers, like in the millions, but who can say?
I say 330,000 for her isn't really a whole lot.
I saw like something like over 1 million.
So like that's crazy when you think like when we say like don't apologize and don't delete it. This is why, because it's not gonna
Just
matter.
don't post in the first place, because then
Yes.
Gigi Hadid, who is Palestinian herself, posted this long essay about the issue right now, where she was kind of, balanced between both sides of the conversation and distanced herself from the Free Palestine movement. And despite being Palestinian herself, is now being attacked for that because she's distancing herself from the political movement that's attached to it. So she's going to start losing followers as well, I'm sure.
Do you guys remember when Ariana Grande said she hated America? And that was like a huge thing. Do you know how much she lost? How many followers?
But like that was back in what, 2014?
It was an election year. I thought it was an election year. I thought
Or it was like coming up on 2016. Yeah. But the tide has changed so much.
Now they're like, yeah, we hate America too.
She would be celebrated for that today.
Isn't that so weird?
They'd be like, she ate that.
Yeah.
That's
But she she like licked a donut.
Yes.
That was on a display case and then said, I hate America.
It's one of the big reasons why what's going on right now has been so controversial for celebrities, is they have no idea what to do, because normally they're like, did a white guy do it? They're bad. Did America do it? They're bad. There's very clear lines as to how you're supposed to support and how you're not supposed to support. But for these celebrities, Ryan Long did an amazing video today about a celebrity trying to figure out who he's supposed to support in Israel. I don't want to play it because I don't know if he wants whether it's copyright or whatever, but I recommend everyone go check it out. He's kind of like, remember when he did the video like woke versus racist?
Yeah.
Like it's very much like that. He's very smart with his skit comedy.
Yeah,
He's like, I never miss a stand.
Like he gets done and he's like, I think I'm the real victim here. Like the fact that I'm the victim here because I can't figure out who the hell I'm supposed to support.
Yeah, like so politicized, it's all the same.
And Noah Schnapp from Stranger Things has also posted a long-winded essay about this. He said, you either stand with Israel or you stand with terrorism. It shouldn't be a difficult choice. Shame on you. And a lot of his Zoomer followers are not liking that. One person replied,
he's going to get a whole new audience amongst conservatives now.
Yeah. He said, I really do wonder if celebrities are posting about Israel because they're educated about the conflict and are willingly siding with the oppressor, or because they view it as an Instagram trend. Should that even be a question? Like, are influencers educated about geopolitics?
This could be the only time.
The clear answer is no.
This could be the only time in history we might see like a Stranger Things cast member get retweeted by Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Also, someone tweeted about Gigi Hadid saying, Gigi Hadid calling what Palestine is going through a conflict between two countries is disgusting.
They're just
What a statement.
They really are like they're addicted to needing to have an opinion. Like I love not having to have an opinion. Like considering my job, I love not having to have an opinion on a lot of stuff for many things. Like
It's almost
very
like you couldn't have
freeing.
like planned a better perpetual conflict.
they
with
did
no
a
resolution.
the same thing was happening being from Minnesota during the riots in 2020. You were expected to have, like, if you're in a Minnesota Facebook group or you posted you were expected to post a black square and have an opinion, and it had to be their opinion, otherwise you were wrong. Ignoring the fact that you just don't necessarily have to have an opinion on these things. I mean, this is going on right now in Hollywood. Like, there was an article from Breitbart that said, like, the top 10 celebrities on Instagram didn't post anything about it. I'm like, okay. Like, weren't we the ones a couple years ago saying they're morons anyways who needs their opinion on geopolitics and race relations?
Yeah,
Right,
telling
but now-
celebrities to stop posting about politics all the time.
Yeah.
I would like them
I think
to
it's a greater
continue being
good.
silent. And Noah Schnapp was saying, oh, all of the people who were posting about fashionable causes like Ukraine and climate change are silent now. Like, yeah, they should have kept their mouths shut about Ukraine and climate change as well. And he didn't mention BLM because he would be attacked for mentioning that.
Or
But
not
the
so
fact
much
that a
that they
cause is fashionable at all
is
shows
the
that they don't
disturbing
care.
part. Yeah. I mean, but we're going to be talking about that when we talk about Jada Pinkett Smith, right? It's like they have to leverage their personal lives in a way that makes it impossible to distinguish between what your actual beliefs are and how much of your personality you're willing to forfeit for the common for whatever the current.
Right.
Remember the current thing meme? That was perhaps the greatest meme in the last 10 years was the current thing meme. It really is true. It's
still going,
There's a $20 one here from Tony Guevara says, Do you want to?
It's much longer.
Would somebody like to say that with more enthusiasm?
Salty army, baby.
There you go. Perfect. That was fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, also, this was casually dropped the other day. Apparently, Keith D confessed that he killed Tupac on P. Diddy's orders. For $1 million.
That's not that much money.
No, it's not. I mean, I guess $1 million in
Back then,
96
maybe.
was a lot of money,
okay.
but still, like, when you think about what it turned into, that's crazy.
Wait, why would P. Diddy have an interest in putting a hit out on Tupac?
Well, back then it was the East Coast West Coast feuds, and
It was real. Gangster rappers used to actually be gangster. It's
Yes.
not like how the rap is today.
So
We were talking about that yesterday.
like about like they're like they like make fun of each other on Twitter and they do podcasts making fun of each other.
not hard.
Do you remember? This was like early days when we started the show of the rapper who died and they like hoisted him up at the nightclub.
Oh yeah, it wasn't a super well-known rapper,
No,
but
it was like
yeah,
a Detroit dude.
They embalmed his body and put it on display at a club for his I guess
Family
this
and
was
friends.
his funeral reception at a nightclub.
Was it a cultural thing? Because that's a common practice in some places. So
If it
that's
is,
interesting.
You're thinking
They should
like New Orleans or something,
not
right?
do
Or-
that.
well,
And
I
I'm
don't know.
assuming
Maybe the
they
audience
weren't
knows.
there. They were, I don't know. They were in America?
Yes.
It was like Detroit or something.
Yeah, it was.
That's awkward.
So Can you guys do that to me?
I got you.
Thank you.
We'll
I got
prop
every
you up
Halloween.
for the last episode of PCC right there in the chair.
It'll be like, no, what we'll do is we'll weekend at Bernie's you
Put
for a whole weekend. We'll
sunglasses
just
on
take,
you. Yeah.
we'll take
Please
you
do.
around.
That's how I want to be remembered.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
It'd be
Especially
fantastic.
as like an old lady with my grandkids.
It'd be great.
That's
Be great.
wild. That's wild.
But you know, I mean, I still believe that it's probably more likely that Suge Knight had a lot more to do with this, but that's
I don't know
just,
anything about
just
Dude,
that's just
Tupac.
me.
Did you ever hear Suge Knight alluding to the fact that he gave who was the rapper that famously died of HIV? Who was in
Eazy-E?
NWA? Yeah,
Eazy-E.
yeah.
Yeah.
He alluded once on some Conan or late night talk show that he had something to do with Eazy-E getting AIDS.
Oh,
what?
boy.
Yeah.
He also apparently
how-
I guess it was
saying
later.
he knew how to give it to people. Yeah.
What?
Well, if he was,
It's
I mean,
wild.
hey,
Yeah.
no, it probably was. It was probably right after California decriminalized it, and he's like, "Oh, I can talk about this now," because California made it it's no longer a felony in the state of California to knowingly give someone HIV. So he's like, "Yes, I can talk about this now." Fantastic.
Wow.
Because nobody likes Suge Knight, dude.
He
It's pretty
sounds
close to evil.
terrifying.
There's also the story about him. Now, I think it's been like debunked later that he like held Vanilla Ice by the ankles off of a hotel balcony.
Like Michael Jackson
Like,
style.
yeah, but apparently that was softened to
Wow.
like he just sternly yelled at him on a balcony, but it turned into like he
Oh my
held
goodness.
him like he's like,
Wow.
Ice in the crosshairs.
yeah.
No
Shook
kidding.
his lunch money down.
So-
to the crowd.
It was over like he's like, you owe me money for a song. I don't remember, like for the beat on a song or
Oh,
something like that.
no.
Yeah, I
Wow.
remember that
Okay.
story. And all I could think about was like, because do you remember the video when Jim Carrey like impersonated Vanilla Ice?
Oh yeah,
Right,
that
and
was
he's got the even more ridiculous hair.
Yep.
I'm picturing like that's how Vanilla Ice got his hairstyle because he's being hung upside down and his hair just fell
had to-
that way.
gravity.
And then when he got up, he just yelled it up like that because he had like the high fade that
Yeah,
was
it
just
was a
super high right
happy
there.
accident. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this looks kind of good.
I like that. I
That's
like
so
that
funny.
idea a lot. All right. Oh, and we've got an update because Mary, you know pro-life Spider-Man, right? Do you know him?
No, what do you? Did you think that I was
Had you met
friends?
him or something?
No.
At an event? Okay.
Why did you think I'm friends with pro-life Spider-Man?
He allegedly
You're
contacted
like, oh yeah, all
cast
pro-life
crew.
people just like know each other.
You guys just hang out. Just
It
group
might have
chat.
been Seamus that I talked to about it.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, maybe he's friends with
Wow.
him.
you're
I
just
have
putting
no
all-
idea.
You think all Catholics look alike?
Yeah, you all look the same. It's, you're,
But he just got charged with reckless conduct and trespassing for his latest stunt, where he scaled a Chicago skyscraper on behalf of a mother who was scheduled for an abortion on the 14th. So I guess he's gonna get out of these charges as well. He's been charged in the past. Maybe he
Yeah.
just pays the fines. I have no idea how.
I still want to know what pro-life Wolverine has to say about this stuff. That's a person too.
Yeah.
Like, what is his
I don't know.
shtick?
I
Like,
have
what does he
no
do?
idea what pro-life Wolverine does to help people. But if he had fallen, pro-life Iron Man could have definitely caught him before he fell. But it's it's kind of a wholesome story.
But he
It
does this,
is.
and then he links to a support page where you can donate to
That's awesome.
the woman who is considering abortion.
it's
Wow.
the more wholesome route to influencerhood.
I
right?
hope he
Kidding.
doesn't
Yeah.
kill himself
Wait,
doing
what happened?
one of these stunts one day because
He-
it's extremely
Oh,
dangerous.
it's extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
What? Wait. So he got arrested for
Because it's
trespassing?
criminal trespassing
Yeah.
and reckless
He
endangerment.
didn't go in the
Dude.
building. He just went on the building.
Yeah, but you have to get up to the top. So to get down, you have to go through the building.
Oh.
You know what it makes me think of is
Okay.
that Andrew Tate video that you sent me where he's like, I'm Spider-Man, get over here. I wonder if he gets
He's talking
all the
about how
ladies.
Spider-Man's
So
lame.
Yeah,
are
yeah.
you saying that they wait for him on the rooftop of these skyscrapers
Yeah.
to take him down to the...
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they can't risk intercepting him on the building. That would be insane, right?
Imagine you're just in your office in one of these
No,
skyscrapers and you're just like trying to
You
get a
can actually see
spreadsheet
the-
done
You
and
can
you
see it
see
in the
this
video.
outside of your window.
Yeah, here it is.
Oh my goodness.
It's like a trope in movies and television too, where like a guy's like climbing up the side of like a building, and there's just somebody in an office.
Yeah. And this was in Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember whoa. It was really cool to see like the window washers go outside the window of my dad's office.
Were you excited about that?
Yeah, it was always like scared me a little
There was
bit.
also like there's a very wholesome video of like it's like a kid in like a terminal cancer ward. He's got the big windows up front in his room, and the window washers all dressed up like the Avengers.
Yeah, I saw that. That was so sweet.
That's pretty wholesome too, right? So so he says wear his colors. Should he be wearing I bet you he'd get sued by Disney if he wore a Spider-Man costume while doing it.
or Sony, right?
Or Sony. Yes, I'm
owns
sorry,
it.
Sony. But like, do you remember when Sony only owns the rights to the movie right, only owns
Oh,
the movie
okay.
rights. But like there was this famous story of a child who died who loved Spider-Man, and the dad put Spider-Man on his gravestone, and Disney made them
Yeah.
take it off
Oh, that's rotten.
Disney's
because they're evil.
Oh
Because
my
they're
God.
evil. Or should I say, look, I actually work very hard most of the time. Like, I'm actually the person usually on the other side of this argument who's like, look, it's a profit-seeking entity. They can't really... They don't have emotions, right? But at the same time, you'd think somebody in their PR department would be like, look,
the human to.
Like, I feel a little wrong about
Yeah.
this.
Like
one.
they're like because they're like what is the logic like
Maybe their logic
if we
is,
let this guy, then everybody's gonna have a Spider-Man
Well,
grave.
no, I mean, I think their logic is nobody is going to hear about this. And then
Yeah.
it ended up blowing up as a story. So
Yeah. Yep.
Jeez.
All right, what would you ladies like to see? Would you like to see cute of the day, or would you like to see cringe of the day?
Let's look at cute.
Cute of the day. All right. First things first. This is Mary sent me this one. It says Twitch streamer finds a raccoon living their best life.
That's a raccoon.
yeah, I didn't know there were red
It's
raccoons.
albino.
Oh, it's so cute. I usually don't like raccoons, but that's
This one's a cute
adorable.
one. Oh my goodness. I've never seen this before.
Okay, I want one.
Oh my gosh. Oh yes.
I
Those
love that they
nails would
have
kill you.
opposable
They would kill you.
thumbs.
Yeah.
Poke his belly. I'm not supposed
at his
to.
heel.
Don't touch the raccoon.
Don't touch the
You
raccoon.
can give him food, but you can't touch him. And then
Rabies.
somebody put like Rocket Raccoon here, and this has him winking.
Ah.
Yep.
The cookie. Really? You're like, are you serious? You're giving me this shit?
He's very happy.
Sure, you could get rabies just by touching it. You don't have to get bitten by them.
There you go.
Wait, really?
Yeah, at least with bats. I don't know. I'm assuming.
They're arguing in the chat like pro-choice Dr. Manhattan.
Is there a Planned Parenthood Spider-Man? Like
Probably.
They don't
Pro-choice
have
Spider-Man.
any cool superheroes.
They would have villains. So it'd be like
It would be the
it'd be pro-choice Doc Ock.
pro-choice Captain Marvel.
No, 'cause she's still technically a good guy, so it'd have to be like pro-choice Vulture.
Pro-choice Edward Scissorhands.
Sure. There we go.
It's an anti-hero.
I mean that because pro. Okay, so what it is, I said pro-life. Wolverine would take the adamantium claws and give like an emergency C-section.
no.
Right?
Oh
my-
And pro-choice Edward Scissorhands would just go straight.
Yeah.
Just bad.
Yeah.
It's just bad, guys.
This is getting dark.
dark, bro.
You took it there.
All right. That's where my brain goes. Sorry. All right. We got a couple more here. This one is from Kevin White. Says, meet Pepperoni Pizza, the Wonder Pup. She's a bucket of love. This was 13 years ago, and she's still going. She answers to Ron. Oh, to Roni. Roni, sorry. And Roni and Bacon. Bacon. Very cute.
Oh, so cute.
Very cute. Let's do one more here.
Is that a black lab? One of
Duh.
my
Looks like a black lab.
one of my favorite.
We got one more here. This is from Jacob.
They can't see me.
It says, this is my little girl Lucy. She's a 2-year-old. Is that Basenji? I don't know how to pronounce that. And I think her ears were getting cold. It's very cute.
I love it.
All right. Let's do some cringe of the day now that we've gotten our fix of cute in. Mary sent me this. I have not seen this yet. So
It's an influencers in the wild.
it says, fellas. Oh, how am I not following influencers in the wild? Fix that.
Yeah.
Fellas, if the makes you do this on the first date, what you do. That's horrible English. That wasn't me. that
written
said
by
it.
AI for
It says,
sure.
fellas, if the makes you do this
Okay.
on the first date, what you do. And here we go.
Oh.
That was a pretty good push in he did.
Oh, I see.
He's clearly
I see.
worked with a gimbal before. He knows what he's doing.
Professional.
Yep. Smooth. He's got skill.
The real question is she going to change the song or leave the song because it might be copyrighted?
copyright,
She's got to
yeah.
use the official Instagram version of it so that she doesn't get a copyright notice and get in trouble.
Have
Right?
you ever asked someone in public to take a photo of you and you can tell if he's been trained or not?
Yeah, right.
We talked about this when we were talking about because me and you talked about this. Me and you talked about the mom who sends her kids do you remember that you sent me this recently? The mom who is like teaching my son how to put the toilets down. There's another one of a lady's like teaching my son how to take good photos so that your daughter won't have to ask 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Just
Oh my
destroying the kid's
gosh.
self-esteem.
There was one time like I had to tell the guy, I was like, it's okay. You can stop taking photos. I just needed one. Just one angle's good.
When someone asks me to take photos, I do like literally every angle, every setting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's for a girlfriend, like a female friend,
Yeah.
I will.
There's a great Babylon Bee skit that they do where it's like a meme where like couples, like they're by the water and they're looking out at the water and they're like, oh, could you take a picture of us? And the guy's like, sure. And he takes the picture for them. They look at it, they go, thank you. And he leaves. And then he hears them say, sir, could you take a picture of us? Clearly indicating that he was very bad at what he did. So they had to ask the next guy to ask again.
Influencers kind of stopped taking those types of pictures where like the girl is looking back at the camera with her hand out.
Oh yeah,
you know what I
Classic,
mean?
yeah.
They're holding hands.
Because it's a classic, like, he pays for everything, but I don't want to put him on screen. He paid for this vacation, but he's not going on camera, right? Either because he's married or he's an investment banker or works at some, he wants to stay out of it.
Yeah, because it's Jeff Bezos behind the camera.
The other one that was recently, it was like all of the it's like POV, you're a millennial in the year 2016. So it's like take me back to
It's always
to Mexico 2016.
Yep.
Because that was actually before that trend of like the girls
Woman Crush Wednesday.
There was a guy who did one. He says he goes, taking my daughters on all sorts of vacations so she won't be impressed by your dusty trip to Tampa Bay or something like that. It's see, I actually find it more wholesome when the guy does it. Like we were talking about that, like when the moms are doing the thing where she's like teaching my son how to do this because men are apparently awful. It somehow would be more wholesome if it was the guy teaching his son to do it, because it's actually supposed to be the guy's job to teach him how to be a man.
Right.
Obviously, I'm oversimplifying that in a lot of ways.
And
but
it's all about the praise of the mom.
the camera always pans to the mom doing this
Right,
because it's
right.
more about her getting approval from the people who leave the comments and say, oh my gosh, you're doing such a service to humanity
Yeah.
for doing this. This kid's going to grow up being like, yeah, but what am I worth? Like, what is she like?
Yeah.
Like she made me put the toilet seat down this one time so she could film it, but that was it.
It's like, a girl ever says it was like, yeah, there's like, it takes 2 seconds to put the toilet seat down. It's like, it takes 2 seconds to put the toilet seat up. Like,
No, I hate that rule so much. I do not agree with that rule. I don't know where it came from, but if you pee with the seat up, like, I'm a grown person. I can put it down.
Exactly.
I don't know where that came from. It needs to stop.
It's not that big a deal.
It's not a big deal.
it's a trap, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a trap.
Ignore them. They're lying.
No.
They're setting you up for failure.
No, it
right
means
now.
grow up. Let them keep it up.
So-
Keep the seat
I
up, I
disagree
mean.
with that, but don't get mad about it. Don't let it ruin your day.
Yeah, don't let it ruin your day.
Because then when they're done, they're going to be like, it's fine. And we all know that when a woman says it's fine, it's literally anything
not.
but fine.
Yes.
Right then and there.
Yes.
It's the fact of the matter. All right, let's go ahead and get started then, shall we? Mary, tell us what the hell is going on with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith.
Jada is doing a press tour for her upcoming memoir titled Worthy right now. That title should tell you everything you need to know already. But she's revealed that not only has she been separated from Will Smith since 2016, she also thought that Slapgate was a skit when it happened, which is shocking, right?
That is weird.
I don't believe her.
You think that she realized it was serious?
I don't believe.
She's lying.
Maybe she thought it
Okay,
was like a
but-
setup because Hollywood does stuff like that a lot.
The fact that they've been separated for 7 years, they've been broken up for 7 years, raises a lot more questions than it answers. Because in a way, she kind of became the fall guy for Slapgate happening in the first place. He's like, keep my wife's
why I don't
name
believe
out
it.
your effing mouth.
This is why I don't believe it.
But
Because
it's
she
not
was
his
making that
wife.
face. She was making that.
Yeah.
Well, technically, no, she is still his wife because
Okay.
they're not.
They're not divorced.
But the point is, so his reaction is visceral, where he looks very happy he's laughing at the joke, and then he sees her reaction, and then immediately responds because he's been trained by her to respond like a dog.
Yeah.
And so I don't believe her that she thinks it was. So she thinks that it just so happened to really annoy her, and then became the perfect skit for her face of annoyance.
Beyond that, the drama about her entanglement with another man, August Alsina, is very confusing because, I don't know, I guess she technically wasn't cheating on Will Smith. He theoretically okayed her having a relationship.
Yeah.
But they weren't together. They weren't living together.
But
They
in
had been living separately for a couple of years at that point.
But they had said in 2013 that they just, when asked about an open marriage, they said, we do whatever we want, which could be implied the same way anyways. I find this more annoying because when you look at it like on the macro scale, they're supposed to be like this good, other than her, like how she seems to constantly emasculate him. They're large proponents of the idea that non-traditional marriage is great and it works out easy, right? But that's
Meanwhile, you haven't been together
for
this
7
entire
years.
time.
So there's likely some guy or some girl out there who's like, look, if Will and Jada can do it, we can do it. But Will and Jada couldn't do it. They couldn't make it work. That's kind of a shitty thing to kind of promote when you yourself can't even make it work.
She seems to be, she's being coy about it, but she seems to suggest that they're thinking about reconciling eventually. Here is her quote. She said, "We're still figuring it out." She says they've been separated for 6 years before the Oscars in 2022. Quote, "We've been doing some really heavy duty work together. We just got a deep love for each other, and we're going to figure out what that looks like."
Let me
for us."
guess. They're going to therapy.
Yeah,
They're
doing
celebrities, so they're-
inner work, except everything is Will Smith's fault.
Celebrities are literally always in therapy all the time.
It should be protocol, honestly.
Yeah.
Hollywood's messed up.
They're always in therapy, and they're always talking about how great therapy is, but nobody ever seems to be getting any better. Seems
Isn't
like
that
a racket.
interesting?
It seems like a racket to me, but what do I know?
Here's what she says about Slapgate. "I thought this is a skit. Like many people watching the incident unfold, she didn't believe it was real at first. I was like, there's no way that Will will hit him. It wasn't until Will started to walk back to his chair that I even realized it wasn't a skit." Her first words uttered to Will once they were alone after the show were, "Are you okay?" That just sounds like a...
And he's like, wow.
Loaded question.
Like, no,
Little bit
he was
loaded.
shocked by the question because she hasn't shown any genuine emotion since
"You're
like
talking to me?"
Obama was in office.
Also, Chris Rock allegedly came up to her after the slap happened and was like, "Hey, I didn't mean any harm by it. Like, I didn't mean
He
any harm by
apologized
my
for
joke."
getting slapped?
He
Oh,
apologized to her for
about the
saying the
joke.
joke about her alopecia.
You know what I hope
Okay.
really comes out of this more than anything? I can't wait to hear Pearl's take on all this.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I will not. Oh my gosh, I had to mute that girl.
Did you see
I
that
don't
she-
even follow her, but she's
She
all over
dyed
my
her hair
page.
blonde.
Did she?
Did she?
She's like in the midst.
Oh.
I saw. Yeah, she's got all these new thumbnails. And I was
Stay
glowing up.
ginger.
So-
Stay ginger. She
Yeah,
looks
stay
better with her
true.
natural hair. And she says a lot of things preluded their breakup. She also says she hasn't been able to bring herself to divorce Will, saying she's been committed to working through anything with him.
That's a fairly interesting point because look, it's true. Like I don't know if they have like some ironclad prenup, but it's
Right.
not like they're not both wealthy and just divide. It would be like if Jay-Z and Beyonce wanted to get divorced. There's just too much
Well,
money
they're in a
and too much
partnership,
assets.
a
much
partnership which is mostly business.
Yeah. Like the only thing that would really change it would be is if one of them actually fell in love and wanted to get married to someone else.
Which they don't
In
seem
which
like
case
type
the
of-
divorce
Will is
would
so
be
mentally
hilarious.
broken
Yeah.
that he's just not capable of
Right,
that.
right.
He's just sad.
He's still her lapdog.
And I'm kind of never going to forgive her because he was the height of cool in the 90s.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Like, every time I see her, I want him
When
to...
did they get married? Wasn't it like 1998 or something?
Yeah, something like that. It's
And then he just went down the uncool, cringe.
I mean, it
rabbit
happens to
hole
everyone
after
as
that.
they age, I guess, right? Like,
Not everyone can be cool forever.
Denzel Washington is still cool, but he's cool in like I'm an older and more like mature person kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Will Smith because he transitioned. It's like he transitioned to roles that worked for him as he got older. Like he was actually really good as Deadshot in the suit. In a bad movie, he was one of the best things about.
I think
a
Will
bad
Smith's
movie.
downfall started with like beginning that YouTube channel, like
Yes,
trying to be
yes.
a YouTuber and
Hello,
be
fellow
relatable. Yeah, being in YouTube Rewind, saying that's hot.
Because he did I Am Legend and like I, Robot in the last 10 or 15 years,
Hancock.
and yeah, and like he's been in movies that were relatively successful, but his cool factor has died as of lately. I feel like
People really liked
Well,
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys 4,
4.
and
Yeah.
which is Bad Boys 3 technically.
Okay, it was technically
Which is
3.
funny because now the fourth one is called For Life. They should have just saved,
Yeah.
Or no, 3 was called Bad Boys for Life.
Oh,
and they
right,
should have
right,
saved
right.
that for the
Oh, yeah,
fourth
yeah, that
one,
would've-
which
yeah.
would have
which
made way more sense.
But they didn't know if it was going to do
Yeah.
well enough to justify it.
That movie got very lucky because it ended up coming out like right before COVID. So like if that hit, it would have struggled severely if it had come out after.
And
that.
they asked Jada if she was offended by Chris Rock's joke about her shaved head, and she said, I mean, that's what comedians do. I would just have to say that I'm not really here to make any judgment on how people decide to express themselves and express their art.
I don't believe
I'll say
her.
that several times. I've had my feelings hurt for sure. I've had my feelings hurt a lot by Chris. But at the end of the day, too, being in the spotlight, it comes with the territory.
Like that is a beautiful response that I don't believe for a second she actually had after it happened.
Yeah. How
Like-
could you believe like anything that they say really when they had didn't they have a whole show or at least a huge viral roundtable discussion about how much the entanglement hurt Will and hurt his feelings because she had an affair? But if they were separated, is it really an
It's
affair?
all very confusing.
Yeah, is it still an affair?
Yeah, like are they
I mean, if
gonna
you're
address
still
that?
it's all
married,
fake.
if
It's
you're
all
still
fake.
married,
Yeah.
you should not be in other relationships while you're
Yeah.
still married.
I absolutely agree with that, but
Yeah.
like clearly, like from
But
their
if it was
perspective, they're trying to
understood
rewrite-
between them,
Yeah.
that
I
they're
forgot
gonna
he
live
was also
separately.
he was also the genie in Aladdin.
Yes, he was.
Which was like actually didn't go as bad as people thought it was going to go, because how do you replace Robin Williams?
He didn't
Yeah.
act poorly.
Like he's been fine, right?
Also,
And
Chris
he won
Rock.
his first, and he won his first Oscar last year for King Richard. The Celine. Or
No
the,
one cared that he, committed Slapgate. They just kind of put that behind them and let him win anyway.
And he made Bright, which was clumsily made.
Chris Rock allegedly tried to get with Jada in the middle of one of their separation on and off stages.
Before or after?
Oh.
Before or after?
Yeah.
Here's
the-
what she says. I think every summer, all the reports would come out that me and Will were getting a divorce. And this particular summer, she won't clarify which one, Chris Rock thought that we were getting a divorce. So he called me and basically was like, I'd love to take you out. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, well, aren't you and Will getting a divorce? I was like, no, Chris, those are just rumors. He was appalled and he profusely apologized. And that was that.
So he felt dissed, and he's like, now I got to make fun of her hair.
Yeah, I think that might be it. He was the burned incel.
He's just. Look, I feel
It was personal.
I feel bad for the public more than I feel bad for any of them, because it just proves
What?
that it's all fake.
I'm sorry, what man would be attracted to Jada Pinkett Smith knowing who she is?
Right.
Especially
And it's-
after the entanglement.
Men that
like your
men
boy's
that are into
girl.
being
Yeah.
like maybe guys who like having dominatrix.
Oh, masochists.
Yeah.
I think my ego's too big right now. Let me go.
It's like I need to
Yeah,
be
take
talked
Jada
down
on humbled.
to really bad. So CEOs,
Yeah, that's true.
CEOs love that shit.
Also, Leslie Jones recently revealed that Chris Rock had to go to counseling after Slapgate.
Oh God.
She said that shit was humiliating. It really affected him. People need to understand his daughters. His parents saw that. He had to go to counseling with his daughters, who are 21 and 19 years old. That kind of makes them sound like they're in second grade.
Yeah.
It's also funny because he handled it about as good as you could handle that situation. He didn't handle it poorly. He made a joke about how he's like, dude, it was a joke, bro.
Yeah.
And like he didn't come out of that situation looking worse.
No.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he was supposed to do. Like, I don't understand where. I mean, I guess like who am I to tell him he's not supposed to go into therapy? But at the same time, I'm like.
Because from what I take from it, he took the therapy because he felt emasculated, but he handled that situation in
As
a
good
very
as he could.
masculine way.
I think
Like,
both
didn't
of
get
them were
upset.
emasculated by that.
It would be, yeah, like, so what he's saying is that maybe if he had done the toxic masculine response, which would be to like just drop him,
Yeah.
then he
Exactly.
wouldn't have needed to go to therapy because he wouldn't have felt emasculated,
Yeah, yeah.
I guess.
I don't know.
Like, why do we need Logan Paul versus Dylan Dennis? Why can't we have Will Smith versus Chris Rock?
Yeah, how
That
the
would be
times
better.
have changed.
And it would be funny
Celebrity
too
deathmatch.
because it would end up being for Will Smith because he's probably in better shape. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Chris Rock is like half his size.
Yeah.
It wasn't a fair fight.
Yeah.
for sure.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, it
How to
would.
put
Also,
place.
we had the poll today asking you guys who's the worst member of the Smith family. Jada, it looks like Jada's winning.
very handily.
But just to be contrarian, I voted Will because he needs to take charge of his own family. You know,
Yeah.
he's being
I
a
vote
pathetic
Jaden
lapdog.
just because Jaden's annoying. And
How are mirrors real if our eyes aren't real?
Jaden? Jaden.
That comment Jaden made, it makes a lot more sense when you see that Jada had her whole family take ayahuasca trips
Oh my goodness.
for like psychic healing.
Wow,
I did not
that's
know
like-
about that.
Where
Yeah.
were these
I didn't
moms
hear about
when
that. That's
I
like
was a
child abuse.
kid?
Yeah, Jada also revealed in the same interview that she was struggling with suicidal ideation for a long time.
Ayahuasca works for that.
And that she took ayahuasca and her suicidal ideation ceased, but that her whole family
her kids
has taken ayahuasca.
Was
I
that
don't know
their
if they did
first
it
drug? Like-
together.
psychedelic.
The kids, she made sure we knew they're adults when they did this, not
Okay.
when they were minors. But
There's
Yeah.
other,
Though, that's intense.
Yeah, way less intense things you can do.
Yeah.
Where you're
It
not,
makes
like,
more
puking
sense
and
why
your brains
Jaden
out.
Jaden has this like split consciousness, asking like, "Are our eyes real?"
Yeah,
It's like full on
eyes
philosopher
real.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his neural pathways
he
are
kind of struggles
janked up.
because it makes him look like a tryhard, and it's kind of embarrassing.
Didn't he want to have like his like male genitalia removed at one point?
What?
Wasn't that a thing?
I'm not googling that.
I don't think he did, but he said he wanted
I just know
to.
that he started like wearing skirts and painting his nails like a lot of male celebrities do.
Okay.
But I don't know if it went as far as like transitioning.
He was questioning it, I believe. Yeah.
Oh.
So
Well, I
really-
mean, when you have a male role model like Will Smith in your family, like how do you make sense of being a man?
You know what they do?
Yeah.
They send him to therapy and they have him watch all of the old Will Smith movies to reinforce him
exposure
being cool.
therapy.
It's just
Reinforce that toxic
It's
masculinity.
a 20-minute clip of just him hitting the alien in Independence Day where he goes, "Welcome to Earth," over and over again. And they
my
just keep playing that clip until you realize that your dad's actually pretty cool. And then they're like, "Did you know that there's a whole channel in Philadelphia dedicated to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Your dad did that. He wasn't always being, torn to shreds by your emasculating mom."
Jeez.
Bad stuff. The whole, but that's why I would never want to be a celebrity, right? I would never want to have to let my family life play out in front of.
Stink bug?
No.
We're under attack.
I would never want to have my family life play out in front of like the whole world. It would be horrible.
No, there's a way to protect your family from it too, and they just lean into it and put it on blast.
Jada is the embodiment of toxic femininity.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
thankfully, Red Table Talk is no longer a thing.
Will should start his own one called Black Table Talk or Blue Table Talk or just not Red Table
Some
Talk.
other color.
I wonder, is this the kind of thing where Will Smith was already kind of like this, or did Jada kind of infiltrate, and was she just one of those women that they warn men about, who's kind of like witchy and toxic and plays all these mind games to the
Well,
point where he's just like,
The way she describes them getting together is she was single. Will Smith got out of a relationship and then called her saying like, "Who are you dating right now?" And she said she's single, and he said, "Okay, you're dating me now." So that makes him sound like the
Toxic.
alpha in the
Right.
relationship.
And what it is
Who
it
sets the
offended
terms.
that offended her, and she played the long game.
Then
She's like,
she-
I'm about
yeah.
to destroy this guy's whole life.
Well, in this interview, she laughs to the interviewer and says, "Can you believe I fell for that?"
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
Doesn't seem like she likes
There's
him
also
very
the thing
much.
where like when they had like their like they did like an interview in 2019 where they talk about it's like, we don't celebrate our anniversary. That's because you're barely married anymore.
No.
But like recently he posted a thing, like it was like last year on their anniversary or whatever, or her birthday. No, it was on their anniversary. It's like he posted some sweet message to her, and like 2 days later she posted a thing about dancing with Tupac, like just emasculating.
Another
Yeah.
part of this that's super confusing is that viral video that Will Smith posted where Jada was recording him in their house.
Yeah.
And he said, like, "Don't record me in my own home," like,
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
But they apparently were living apart by that point anyway. So how does that video even come into existence? Like,
It's because it's all fake.
I
The
don't
whole world's fake.
understand.
It's all a stage,
She really
man.
did just want
coming
Tupac.
apart.
She had to. She feels like she settled for Will Smith.
yeah, she got with him when he was like
Probably.
the alpha, and then once his time passed, she was like, should have gotten with Tupac.
All right, let's go to
Still
super
going.
chats, shall we?
DCNC said empty chairs really pulled their own.
They did their work last week, ladies and gentlemen. You guys weren't
Yeah.
here, so the empty chairs had to
What
fill
would
in.
we do without
We're
them?
almost replaced.
Shane
Two
H.
more.
Wilder.
Two more.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Mary, did you see the latest pints? Matt talked with Keith Nestor about his conversion and the Rosary Crew. Check it out. And the Rosary Crew, I pray the Rosary with them every day. Would recommend." Yeah, I was actually watching that this morning while I was on the way here. I'm not done with it yet, but this guy live streams praying the Rosary literally every day and has since 2020, which is surprising.
That's impressive.
because like, I don't know, like,
How long does
no
it
one
take?
is consistent with like many things.
So
these
like he
days.
filmed
It
like
would be
5 in a day and just like over the week.
I hope not. No, he live streams it, so I don't think he'd be able to do
that's
that.
actually like so. I used to I used to release a different skating edit every day, right? I would make a full 1 minute skating edit that I would have to go out and film in different locations every day. Now that at that time I was working like 30 hours a week, so I had the time to skate multiple times a day, but I would cut up and make several edits, so I never missed a day because I would get like anxious if I wasn't skating anyways. But I had at any given point 14 edits that could have gone up the next day if I missed, if for some reason I couldn't skate that day. That never ended up happening. But yeah, I would like
That
back
consistency
the content.
is
The content would back
admirable.
up.
Yeah, just in case.
And that's been like the hardest part about being injured is like not being able to skate.
Yeah.
And like just kind of like.
Are you posting anything on Instagram?
No. Like I thought about posting old stuff. And
I
I'm
love
like,
seeing your old stuff. It's a
Yeah.
cool little treat. It's like, oh, look at him go.
I need to.
I don't
do
hate
that.
it.
But I ended up skating the mini ramp downstairs last weekend for like 20 minutes, and then just felt like my knee is like still too precarious. It'd also be really funny if I got hurt while nobody was here.
That's
like,
not funny.
I've fallen
Don't risk
and I
Bucko's
can't
just
get
watching you
up.
die.
Yeah, like
You need to get life alert. Brett. You need to get life alert.
there was a time where there was a time where they were considering like an insane system for the mini ramp where it was like it was basically like a dead man switch where like you have to like reset it every 10 minutes or otherwise an alarm would go off.
Oh, yeah.
And I flat out said, I'm like, I'm not doing
Wait,
that.
what?
I'm not doing that.
Why would you have that?
Like, so the idea is like if somebody was skating down there alone and fell and then they couldn't get up, the alarm would recycle.
The dead man switch should probably be on like an hour cycle, not 10 minutes.
Well, I mean, not really, because if you're
Right?
laying there for an hour, you're probably
Then that's
dead by
dead.
the time somebody shows up. But I was like, I
Half
refuse.
an hour.
I'm like, if I fall and die, so be it.
No,
I don't-
there's
At
this
least I died skating.
You can do a digital dead man switch where you have to click a link in an email every day, or else your
They do
family
that-
members will get all of your data.
They do that for plots for movies where it's like, if you don't pay this, buy this. He's like, and you can't hurt me because I've got an email set to send out at 6 a.m. every day unless I cancel it. and I'm watching those scenes like, and that scene passes, and I'm like, how would you actually set that up? Is that like a thing?
No, it's a paid service
Okay.
now. You can do that.
Okay.
Sarenko Productions said Johnny Tsunami, haha, nice decom reference.
Look,
Brett.
I didn't watch. I wasn't. That wasn't me. I know who it is, but it's like mentioning Johnny Bravo. Like it's like it's pop culture enough for me to know what it is without ever actually watching it.
Yeah.
You know.
I watched it.
Let's hold off on the rest, and we will come back after the fact, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on. I want to talk for just a couple minutes here about what's going on over at Warner Brothers and the fact that they could be selling to Universal in the next couple of years, which is very, very interesting, considering they just got sold from AT&T to Discovery like less than a year ago.
Okay,
right?
I didn't even know that AT&T owned Warner Brothers.
Yep, before that, right?
Okay.
So what's interesting to me about this is like, look, they can't win. We've watched them release project after project in the last year, and they can't seem to find a footing for anything that works. None of the DC movies have really done all that well. They're not really doing anything with Harry Potter outside of the theme parks until the new television show comes around. But Universal, which is owned by Comcast, has had nothing but success stories this year. So they did Oppenheimer, Fast and the Furious, Super Mario Brothers,
Yes.
as well as Cocaine Bear, and Five Nights at Freddy's is about to come out, and we were having trouble finding tickets for Five Nights at Freddy's because all the seats were sold out.
Seems like
wow.
they just know what sells. Also, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
And what's interesting
was
about like
theirs.
people mention like how much money Barbie made with all of this press and all of this like media fervor. Super Mario Brothers almost beat they barely beat Super Mario Brothers, and they
Really?
did it without any of
Way
the
less marketing.
way less marketing, but also way less buzz
Yeah.
from like us talking about it, right?
Yeah.
It just proves the strength of the brand for them. And so Comcast is at this time the largest media conglomerate in the United States. It's like number one next to, I think, I had the list
It
pulled up
owns
here.
the rest of Hulu that Disney doesn't own.
Exactly, right? So, like Comcast, AT&T, Disney, Paramount Global, and then Warner Brothers Discovery are the companies that are the biggest media conglomerates in America. But Comcast also owns Universal, or I'm sorry, they own Sci-Fi, Universal, CNBC, MSNBC, and then also the Universal Parks. Which is like, that's a lot of stuff to own. So one of the things you have to worry about is like, look, it's going to end up, you're consolidating down so far that only a small number of companies own any of these businesses. And why would you want to sell the company? Why would Warner Brothers want to sell right now when it would be at a loss because they haven't been able to bolster their numbers or cut enough weight from their books?
Well, in this article, it says it's because Warner Brothers is broke AF right now.
They are.
So
Yep.
it's a last-ditch effort. And this is why David Zaslav demanded that James Gunn recast DC with cheaper talent.
Like David Cornsweet as Superman.
The plan for the original The Flash movie was not what we saw. They were saying it was going to have a bunch of cameos and set up for movies with Henry Cavill, with Ben Affleck, like all the favorites.
Yeah.
And then they had to change it last minute, and it was not what they envisioned at all.
And what's funny about, like, if you look at the biggest companies in the world, it's Apple, Saudi Oil, and Microsoft.
Oh my
right?
God.
So there's also talks, like they assume that there's a lot of people that assume that at some point Apple is just this enormous corporation that's going to eventually buy up one of these companies, likely Paramount. At some point, they'll end, like, it's very possible that they could, because they have the money.
Their own streaming service is not doing so hot.
But the thing is, they're kind of insulated the way Amazon is, right? The market cap on Apple is $2.7 trillion. So it's like they have the cash reserve, the
Apple TV
reserves
Plus is merely a footnote for them, so it doesn't matter that no one watches it.
And the problem with consolidation is like there's an article we're going to cover tomorrow that's talking about how the thing that Hollywood really wanted out of this writer strike was to be able to start cutting the dead weight from a lot of these companies. But what it's going to mean is that a lot less creativity, because you're only going to have so many places where you can go to get entertainment, and a lot of them are becoming tech companies. Apple is not a media company, it's a tech company. Amazon was a book publishing company turned into a marketplace, and they're becoming some of the largest distributors of entertainment. And companies like Comcast, when you think about just the size of their operation, so if they're running your MSNBC and your CNBC, so that's your financial news, your shitty mainstream press, your shitty movies and actually I shouldn't even say shitty, they actually made the good plenty of the actual good movies that came out this year. Imagine they consolidate further the same way that 20th Century Fox got bought by Disney. Like, at one point, you had a chance to just go to all of these different places to get your entertainment. The old X-Men movies. Anybody ever seen any of the old X-Men movies back in the day?
Yeah.
Very different from the Marvel movies you get now, right? And I think that's a great way to look at it. Like, back then, you got these movies from Bryan Singer, which were vastly different from what Marvel would then go on to make 8 years later. Now all anybody can talk about is how they're going to integrate the X-Men into the already previously established Marvel franchises. Like, do we really want to see what it looks like when we have to have Super Mario Brothers versus DC? Or something like that, right? Like, it's just not interesting to me, and it stifles creativity. Also they also did Megan this year.
I thought that was a pretty good movie.
I liked
I loved
it.
that one. Yeah.
And that's the same studio that's making the Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
Is gonna
Right.
do really well. I predict.
So, like, the idea is, like, if they're gonna have to sell, if they want to sell Warner Brothers Discovery for an actual, like, profit, they'll have to actually make something that makes money, which they haven't
Other
seemed to
than
be
Barbie.
able, other than no, that was Universal that made Barbie. Warner Brothers didn't make Barbie. I'm saying Warner Brothers is going to have projects that actually make money if they want to sell at a profit, and they haven't really been able to do that in the last year. Is this the type of thing where, like, do you guys have, like, we've had this discussion before about, like, whether men or women have streaming services? Do you have any streaming services?
No, not really.
Any?
No.
So, like, Cable, but cable was a thing, right?
Yeah.
Everyone had
Well,
to have cable
yeah.
with 1,000 choices. Eventually, you're only going to have 3 or 4 that you're going to be able to choose from, and all of the past stuff, that's fine. But eventually, you're going to start seeing all the entertainment looking the same.
Brett, Barbie is a Warner Brothers.
That's what I'm saying.
You said it was Universal.
I said it. No, I don't think so. It's a Super Mario Brothers was a Universal.
I thought you were saying
Barbie was a. I'm saying that Warner
opposite.
Brothers will have to have something other than Barbie
Yeah.
that makes money.
Yeah.
Yes. Everything else Warner Brothers released this year was crap, and the only reason I remember that is because Oppenheimer was Universal and Warner Brothers was Barbie, and Christopher Nolan used to make all his movies through Warner Brothers, and then switched to Universal after the flop that was Tenet.
I mean, I've half jokingly said that I'm just so tired of having to look up where to stream blank show or
Yes.
movie, because there's like they are constantly switching licensing, and there's like 2 seasons of this show on Paramount Plus, and then the other 2 are on this other one, and like I'm so tired of searching for where to watch things.
Also, guys,
that
if
I
you want
kind
the
of
answer-
want a big company to just take over all the streaming services.
If you guys are looking
a
for the
big
answer to
conglomerate.
that, if you have IMDb, you don't even have to have IMDb Pro. You can set like what streaming services you have, right? And you can check all, and then when you look up a show, it lists right under there. It says you can find this show at this.
that's
But you can
Uh,
also use alternative streaming
if you-
platforms.
Disavow. At least, but also like, so if they're restructuring DC right now, and we have James Gunn making all of these changes, they sell to Universal in 2 years and it just gets rebooted again, and then they just start over again. That's
Yeah.
what would end up happening.
I mean, I want them to just stop altogether making DC movies because I don't like them.
I know Valiant. They said they're saying sell within 2 years. I know Valiant Renegade said it probably wouldn't be doable in less than 3 to 5. But I just
I want to see in my lifetime both DC and Marvel run themselves into the ground.
very plausible. I mean, at least the
I want to live to see that. May not be
You might.
soon, but I want to see it.
Well, the idea would be more that like it would be that they're just less popular now. I don't think it's ever going to be that thing where you're like it is now officially in the ground.
Everyone who has a Marvel tattoo is going to regret it.
I also wonder if Apple will end up buying Paramount or something like that. But that would kind of signal like a strategic shift in where they're looking to take the business, and I think they've done very well with their avant-garde shows on their little streaming service that they probably write off as a loss every year.
Severance is really good. That's the only thing I remember liking from Apple TV, but
Well, everybody always complains that there
It's not
isn't
all
enough new
bad.
stuff coming out, but Apple TV actually does seem to consistently put out new stuff that's not the same cookie cutter stuff that we see all the time. Also, Paramount, or now that I think about it, Comcast also has the John Wick movies, because those are Universal. So that franchise, and they just released the show, The Continental, and the Twisted Metal series. So they're all they're all growing and expanding, but it just seems that Warner Brothers can't seem to do it. And you don't even necessarily have to have Max to watch Discovery if you want, because you can still watch it on Discovery
that's
Plus.
so stupid. Like everything from Discovery Plus is on Max,
Yeah.
but some people just don't have Max.
Yeah.
So they didn't consolidate them. Like the less streaming service is the better, in my opinion.
It does feel like it's gotten out of hand lately.
Yeah.
It's not great, but I got rid of Disney Plus. I'm not going to watch any of the Marvel shows.
Why don't you just bite the bullet and get rid of all of your streaming services?
I'm never going to do that.
Why?
Because I actually
There's
watch
no
stuff.
good reason
Because I
to
actually
watch.
watch stuff.
I do too.
I go through. No, because then I would. Okay, I'll tell you why I'm not going to do that. Because
we won't have to get into that. It's
but
fine.
No, don't encourage Brett to cancel all his streaming services that I also may partake in.
I had to. Okay, so here's the thing.
Exposed.
very against this
live
idea.
on
I
air.
think
Sarah,
you should keep them all.
Sarah once very graciously asked if she could watch some stupid baking show that nobody watches but her. Clearly, dumb. No, I'm just kidding. But what was it called again?
Great Halloween Bake Off.
Okay.
That thing
These
was
are probably
freaking
the only
cool.
shows that
Okay.
make money
So
now, Brett.
good.
Don't denigrate the baking shows and the dating shows. Like
dare
these are the shows
Yeah.
that actually
Yeah.
Did you check
bring
it out?
returns.
So-
I was just watching the newest season of Love Is Blind. Have you guys seen that yet?
I love that show. I haven't seen the new season, but it was very fascinating.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the new season.
So
have not
Sarah,
watched it,
Sarah
no.
asks to use my Max subscription, but here's the problem. When I go back to checking, because I started watching Deadwood again, and it's not the Great British Bake Off that's destroying my continue watching list. It's South Park and Rick and Morty, and I will not have Rick and
You
Morty.
just exposed Sarah as a Rick and Morty fan.
You know,
That
No
is
shame.
mortifying.
the
No
Halloween
shame.
baking championship to Rick and Morty pipeline is real.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I did, there was, because I just said, like, look, I don't want my continue watching lists destroyed with this disgusting
you can make
imagery.
different profiles.
And no, so what I did is
Art.
I made a second profile. So there's Brett and there's not Brett, and I just sent her like a video that just pointed like this me, this you.
Wait, I never got this
Rug
video.
mad.
Yeah, did not send.
I know.
I sent like a video as like me. You,
That's
as if the one that says not Brett isn't very clearly worded
so
in the thing. So
It's
just
very not in my backyard.
yes,
Sounds
like
like a
look, you can
sibling
watch
rivalry.
whatever you. South Park, I'm fine with. Rick and Morty, not so much. But I'm
what
just saying,
you
like,
drew the line,
it's
okay.
like. But here's the thing, like all my stuff, like there's a beautiful symmetry to all the things I watch, right? Where it's like drama. Sure, there's some DC animated movies in there, but then Rick and Morty, what is It's
I
fine.
ruined your perfect
Hater.
algorithm.
It looked so beautiful before, and now my recommends are changing, and it's just I won't have it.
That's what happens when
Well,
you're a
thank
good
you.
person, Brett.
Yeah, thank you. I do pay for my own Amazon Prime. If you ever need it.
Look at that.
I've got Amazon Prime. That's
Got a
fine.
nice trade.
That's fine. Also, Amazon Prime is easily the worst of all the streaming services, at least as far as user
Why?
experience.
Oh,
It's-
user, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I will give you that. But they have some good stuff on there.
They have a lot of good.
They have
There's
a lot of good movies.
Yeah.
there's stuff that I watch on there.
They just have so much money they don't need to care whether their platform is usable or not.
well, Netflix is kind of the same, right? Like Netflix is horrible lately.
Yeah.
It lags really bad. It just stops playing.
It never
Never has-
stopped pissing me
Dude.
off that they autoplay anything you scroll past on.
Yes, I hate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you can turn that off on
that.
on one of like either on Amazon or on Netflix.
Ugh.
You can turn that off.
And
the
Netflix
autoplay.
makes so much of their own stuff that they don't have any good movies. When I try to search a movie I actually know or actually like, it never comes
Hulu
up.
is where you go for that.
They just
Okay.
want you to watch their shitty shows and movies.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Super Chats. Let's get a crisis party here, guys. Come on.
Yeah, where's it
Yeah.
at? We're almost there.
Shane
happening?
H. Wilder said Brett was already canceled because of mocha hate.
Wrong.
And he also said, hey, no talking about Photoshops from screen grabs. Why?
Yeah, why?
Yeah, Shane H. Wilder.
Yeah, Shane.
We're not calling out your memes.
And then he
Email
said,
me, tell me.
Brett over here thinking all of us pro-life Catholics look alike. I see how you are. It's honestly bigoted.
It's yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Can't believe I
DCMC said
witnessed
cute
that.
of the day approved.
There you go.
Yay.
Papa Piker said pandas old and busted, raccoons the new hotness. What?
Well, what was it that Andrea Mew? She likes wombat. She has Wombat Wednesday. Where
Really?
she shares like
That
a
sounds
wombat
cute.
every
Aw.
Wednesday.
Wombats are
I like that.
adorable.
There you go.
I love
Well,
them.
we're Women
let's-
Wednesday. We empower women every Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's horrible idea. Horrible idea. Like, what are you trying to like? The world's already on fire. Are you just trying to make it worse? It's. I'm just
Trying
kidding.
to entertain.
Let's hold off on the rest.
Okay.
Let's come back after the fact, guys. Let's get a crisis party going, huh? All right, Mary, tell us what's going on with Julia Fox and Kanye.
Yes. So Julia Fox is yet another female celebrity promoting her new memoir. It's called Down the Drain. I guess that's where Kanye's urine went. Right down the
No,
drain.
it went into
Yeah.
onto the wall.
So in this memoir, she details the romantic encounter in which they first met. And it has a pee incident, okay? I'm sorry, but I need to tell you. This is the first night they met. She calls him the artist, by the way. She doesn't name him in the memoir. She's just, gesturing toward who it might be. The artist starts peeing on the wall, and I quickly jump in front of him before telling people outside the club not to take any pictures. This is her valiant moment where
She's
she
literally the Secret Service of peeing.
she
of
shields
Kanye
him
peeing.
from the paparazzi getting the pee
She
photos.
jumps in front of a man who's peeing.
Well, the funniest
Not
part,
in front of
maybe
the
behind
pee.
him.
The
Like
question
in
is-
front of him, like he's in a dark alley.
Uh-huh.
She's covering the alley so
Okay.
that no one can see him.
I see.
It's actually really romantic if you think about it.
No, then he gets done. He's like, I wanted them to take that photo. I was
Right.
trying to make
Exactly.
it controversial. What are you doing?
And then it says
She
once he
cock-blocked
zips
him.
his pants back up, he puts his arms around me and pulls me in close, kissing me passionately. Bro didn't even wash his hands first.
That was like all the comments on the videos I saw talking about this were debating about like the.
Why did people feel so strongly about this specific account?
No idea. They were
saying like
relatable.
he peed in an alley. That's like the worst thing ever.
And it's just like, bro, like if you're a dude who's gotten drunk at a bar, it's likely
I'm not like
happened.
grossed out by him. I'm grossed out by her.
That she wasn't grossed out by it.
That she's acting like this is like a huge romantic moment between her and a
Yeah.
lover. It's like you're a gold digger who tried to like get on
Put his hands on her face. And Whitney Houston's "I Will Always Love You" just played from inside the bar, right at that crescendo moment.
Well, I think
and
And they
she's
knew it
never
was
the
love.
same.
you're kind of right that she's a bit of a gold digger, but it's more an opportunity digger. Because she was saying in this memoir she wasn't really that into Kanye. She was into the opportunities that he might be able to give her if she stays with him, despite not really liking him that much. And I think she is doing what his current wife Bianca Censori might do eventually, which is turning on him and making him the villain in the story of their relationship. She says now that she was simply being used as a pawn in his grand master plan to get back at his ex-wife. That's humiliating. That's a really shitty position to be in. And she also called Kanye a master gaslighter, essentially accusing him of being abusive without actually saying that. Which just seems misleading and opportunistic.
Yeah, she's like playing the victim card now.
Because she's lost opportunities for having dated Kanye at this point, since his reputation has gone downhill. She's associated with him. She's kind of canceled by association, and she has to distance herself.
Do you remember this article from 2022 that says Julia Fox said she dated Kanye West to get him off Kim Kardashian's case and distract him?
That's what she said. I thought ultimately I'd be helping a precarious situation.
Oh, shut up.
But
You
I
don't
learned
care.
very quickly that I was being weaponized. I felt like his little puppet. I feel like he's using me in some weird, twisted game, and it makes me feel dirty.
It's funny because she admits to using him.
Yeah, they used each other.
They used each other.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So who is the victim? Nobody.
No, by the modern day progressive law of power dynamics.
Oh, yeah.
She's a woman, so she's dumb and stupid.
He's also
that's literally what they're saying. They're like he's got
more
money
fame and more wealth than her.
and she's a woman, so she's dumb. That's literally what they're saying. She can't handle his master gaslighting. So like it's always funny whenever like people kind of horseshoe around to like we want to help women so much that we're going to pretend like they're invalids, which is what they're saying.
Like they don't know any better.
That's what they're saying about Bianca Censori right
The
now.
more accurate representation and the more empowering situation would say they know exactly what they're doing, and even if you disagree with having a transactional relationship with a person, as a fully grown big girl adult, she's allowed to do that and get whatever she wants out of that relationship because sometimes life isn't as simple as falling in love like a Disney movie, especially if you're a disgusting celebrity who's just out to turn every interaction with another human being in your favor.
Yep. Yeah.
It's an insult to women to treat them like children.
I think that what Bianca Censori is doing with her life right now is degrading, but I think she's doing it on purpose and she doesn't need anyone to save her. She's going to learn the consequences of her own actions the way any adult should. She also, Julia Fox revealed that Kanye offered to get her a boob job.
While playing Uno.
About like 2 weeks into knowing each other. We were spending a day playing Uno and a game that involves highlighting positive words in the dictionary. What is this, kindergarten? I'll get
And,
you.
and Saline came up.
Kanye offered, Kanye had given her a top that she said it doesn't look good unless she wears a bra. And then he said, I'll get you a boob job if you want. The romance. She said, no thanks.
It's
And then
also
she said it made her uncomfortable.
Okay.
That's a bit of a loaded word.
He was just offering.
but
I don't know.
He was just being a nice
I would
guy.
be a little offended, but
I don't know. He thinks every chick wants a boob job. Probably,
somebody
so.
thought it was interesting given that his mom died of plastic surgery.
Oh yeah.
He was trying to kill her? Is that what you're
That's not what they said. But yeah, they said it was interesting. They said you thought he would be more sensitive to the issue, given that his mom died undergoing cosmetic surgery.
Right. He seems to never learn from his mistakes, right? Because it's like
That's what we love about him.
Yeah, like I mean, it's almost like a innocence kind of thing in a way, but which I don't think it is at all. But it's like he keeps dating these women and then acting shocked that they only like him for his resources, fame, and money, and doesn't understand why they keep like leaving him and betraying him and writing these hit pieces or memoirs, actually, you know, whatever you call him now. So I don't feel bad for him or her.
I think he almost certainly was using this public relationship to do what he thinks is getting back at Kim Kardashian, when
Just
in reality
spiting.
he was just making himself look worse and making her look like the bigger person.
He should have just turned into super dad and just become dad of the year, who just did like everything for the kids all the time and just make her look like a greedy work obsessed.
Like that would have worked.
Narcissistic.
It would have worked for him.
Yeah.
But I guess their breakup amounted to Kanye soft ghosting Julia Fox because he got on a phone call with Kim Kardashian where he was so shocked to learn that Julia Fox had addiction issues in the past. And he's like, well, that's just a bridge too far. And Julia said, I already told you that I had been on drugs before. You just weren't listening.
she does mention a thing.
So funny.
There's even like some
funny
loaded.
He doesn't vet these women at all.
Yeah. So well, they're talking, and his brain goes.
He's like, yeah. You're really smart. People underestimate you.
There was the thing where she said like when he called, like he would mostly talk and I would mostly listen.
Yes.
And I laugh because it's like, of course, right? He's the mad genius, and you're the new woman in his life. But she said, but when I did talk, he said.
Yeah, all of my points were very interesting and I was very intelligent. So he sprinkled on the compliments.
As much as he could muster.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, like he probably pays a guy to like stand like awkwardly in the next room and listen to what she said, and then like write a synopsis that he can read later.
Right. It's like she thinks she was his muse, but really it was just him thinking about himself the entire time.
Yeah.
Literally any woman should have just sat there.
Yeah.
She is most known for that clip of her being like, I was Josh Safdie's muse in Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
Uncut Gems.
I just.
She also says her memoir didn't detail intimate moments with Kanye because their bond was essentially sexless. Quote, it wasn't really about that. She claims that they never had sex.
Interesting.
Honestly, I would believe
believe it.
that. I would believe that.
Yeah.
Because if it is advantageous to claim that you did, you know, she would.
Right. It doesn't really make a difference at that point.
She was waiting for that so she could add the part in the memoir about how he was sexually aggressive, but she can't because they didn't have sex.
Yeah, exactly. Also, by the time that they stopped talking, Kanye sent her an NDA and said, if you don't sign this NDA, we can't be friends anymore. And she said, I'll live.
Boundaries. He's got boundaries.
dang.
He also sent
supposed to do that
NDAs to her
first?
friends. It
Yeah.
is kind of obnoxious that she kind of expected him to hire her friends as an entourage of stylists. Like, he told her that one of the things that bothers him about her is that she constantly brings her friends to everything they do.
Have you ever seen that like TikTok where the girl shows up to like a date with a guy with like a friend, and then
That's
gets
so weird.
and then gets mad when
Yeah.
the guy like leaves? He's like, I'm
It's
not
kind of
paying
like
for-"
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did end up, you know,
It's
employing
really-
her friends.
I'm sorry, but it's really funny.
he put
if
her
you,
friends
like,
on the payroll.
It's really funny that if millionaire Kanye West, like, they come to dinner and he makes, like, he just splits the check. He makes, like, he's like, I'll pay for you, but I'm not paying for your friends. There was that other video where, like, a guy took his girlfriend out for dinner over, like, for her birthday, and she brought, like, all her friends and family, and he's like, I'm not paying for all of these people.
Didn't she get mad about that?
Yeah, she got really mad about
And
that.
then the girl will be like, whatever happened to chivalry?
Yeah. No, really.
That's literally what would happen.
Yeah.
You invite the neighbors.
Yeah,
Like,
like-
your dog walker, the mailman.
Yeah.
It's
real.
you know, it's a scam.
Yep.
It's a
I'm just
scam.
kind of tired of self-interested professional adult women getting into relationships that are essentially transactional and then acting like they're victims after the fact.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you want to be in a transactional relationship, that's fine, but just be honest about the fact that that's what you want.
She didn't get the prize that she wanted at the end because of the fact that Kanye blew up his reputation after the fact. She didn't get the street cred in her industry that she thought she would get. So when she realized she took the wrong gamble, she wants to turn it around and make it out like he was the bad guy.
She's like, now I have to start this stupid podcast to talk to these stupid celebrities.
So
who are
she's putting out a
stupid like
memoir.
me.
She has the podcast. She's doing also a reality show that's kind of like Project Runway.
She's kind of perfect for that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like in the 2000s, this is exactly the type of person who would have ended up on a reality show. With a reality show, she's perfect for that. That's like right on
him
brand
ruining
for
his
her.
reputation didn't hurt her at all, in my opinion.
Yeah.
She's still able to get away like scot-free and play the victim card and is still getting all these opportunities.
How do you guys feel that he's controlling his new wife?
Oh, probably.
Most likely.
They are
Yeah, no
legally
amount of,
married now.
like-
Yeah, we were wrong about that.
We
They are legally
misspoke.
married.
They're
Yeah.
not married?
They are.
They're
They
legally
are.
married at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. For me personally, no amount of money would be worth that. But it's not. If everybody
Not even if he puts all your friends and family on the payroll.
Yeah.
I mean, she was already on the payroll before they were even dating.
Yeah.
She was an employee of his.
My family right now is like, come on, Sarah. Take over the team.
I don't know what it means that she was his architect
Yeah.
for Yeezy, but yeah, that's how they met. Kind of
Yeah.
like how Elon meets his baby mamas.
He's got, those workplace things. It's just it can be dangerous if you're Elon. But Elon's also such a droid that it's like it doesn't even matter. Like there's not really much emotion. It doesn't feel like I wonder
At least
what
Kanye
an actual
has emotions.
like does Elon Musk have emotionally fraught conversations with Grimes, or does he just she's like I'm mad at you? He's like, what are you mad about?
Well, there was
Probably.
that time that Elon posted a tweet saying like pronouns are stupid or something, and then Grimes replied, "I know this isn't your heart. Call me."
Oh my god.
Oh, by the way, I have a new. I've added another phrase to my list of things that don't mean anything, and I think more than any phrase out of all of them, my heart is so full makes me angrier than
I hate
anything.
that.
It's like I get it. You're at a wedding.
I really do hate that. Now that you mention it, I
wasn't
didn't
there
even
another
realize
one,
that
too?
that was the phrase that like triggers me. But yeah,
My heart is so.
Wasn't
full.
there another one that like triggered you?
nourishing my body.
I hate
that
nourishing.
hates-
I hate the word
that.
nourishing in general, but yeah, nourishing my body
out
is.
the list.
I have a list. It's I unfortunately
Yeah,
like.
Oh yeah, stepping into my confidence.
Yes,
that's what it was.
I hate stepping into my comments.
I hate that one
It's
too.
for a lot of it is like a bunch of these got deleted off my list of stuff. Anything involving my truth, taking back my happiness.
Be kind. I know you don't like be kind.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
That's
Be
because it's
kind.
amorphous. It doesn't mean anything. It's like nobody's meaner than a person who has be kind in their profile.
Yeah.
They are the meanest people on earth.
You shouldn't have to be
also,
told.
you see it on school. Like there's a school out here that just has it like on the fence of the baseball stadium.
I also really don't like "be yourself." That was the ubiquitous phrase for children of the 2000s. Is
Yep.
"be yourself."
Yep.
I don't even know what that means.
taking back my happiness. What?
I'm reclaiming
Reclaiming.
my happiness.
Yeah.
Like, you took a creative writing class. Great. I hate.
Congrats.
I hate all of that. It's like say like I'm happy now. That's way easier.
Yeah.
It's just
Like get off
awful.
Instagram. 'Cause
Exactly.
Those are all Instagram
It's like-
phrases.
Okay,
right?
It's literally if you made an app, it's like I'm gonna make an inspirational infographic app, and it just
Yeah.
has like phrase suggestions.
Okay,
for
now I
you.
need to like air my grievances about this new season of Love is Blind, because you can really easily tell that all of the women on the show are normies who don't think any deeper than Instagram quotes about self-love. Like every
Oh,
woman.
I forgot about.
Okay, especially the
Self-care.
woman from Puerto Rico that Dane claims he used to know. She's one of the worst, and she's like, "I'm perfect. I'm so emotionally mature, and I have it all together, and I just need to find someone who deserves me." Like, this is the language of the dating world right now. Also, all of the women show up like thoughts that are like going out to a night in the club, and the men are dressed up for like job interviews. Like, it doesn't make sense anymore.
Men should just
like a
start turning the
prom,
tables
dude.
and doing that, where they just show up with like barbecue sauce on their shirt. Like half the shirt is tucked in, half the shirt isn't.
Just dressed
And
like
they're
Adam
I need
Sandler on
I need a
First
woman
Date."
who can handle all of
And
this.
No, these men are dressing up for dates where the women can't see them. I mean, granted, they're on TV, so a lot of people are going to see them, but still.
Yeah.
Most of the women were just like touting self-love phrases. Like, I'm ready to date because I finally have accepted myself and learned
What does
to
that
love
mean?
myself.
Yeah.
And I've been in bad relationships before because I didn't love myself
And
enough.
all of the men
Inner
were
work.
evil, toxic
Yeah.
narcissists.
Yeah, exactly.
You were never the. It's
Exactly.
like it is Taylor Swift syndrome. If you've dated 33 guys,
Ugh,
it's,
and they will
there's one-
sabotage their own relationships and then blame the guy or self-pity about it afterwards. Like
Yeah.
this one girl was on the verge of getting proposed to by this guy and decided to finally drop this bomb of information on him that she has been divorced. Like on one of their, like they're pretty far along in the process, and then she's like, by the way, I got divorced. Is that okay with you? And he's like, no. And then she goes to throw a pity party about it. Like, he doesn't accept me for me.
Well, there isn't really a thing that a woman could say. A woman could literally be like, "Look, I went to jail for murder in the '80s," and then she'd be like,
less
"That's
of a
okay,
red
right?
flag, right?
And the guy would be like, "No, that's not okay. I don't date women who have been in prison for murder."
They're like, I guess you're just
80s.
insecure, huh?
If you can't handle me at my best, you don't. At my worst, you don't
They're
deserve
like-
me at my. Ooh, I have to add that one too.
Add
Oh,
that
yeah,
one.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a good one.
yeah, I
They're
hate
like,
that
what's
one,
your
too.
body
that's a good
count?
one.
And they're like, well, I've killed 2 people. Anyway, let's go to Super
Yeah,
Chat.
let's do it.
So funny.
Stephen Ellis said, bucket list, pee outside on all 7 continents. Okay.
That's a go.
I believe in you.
We believe in you. Yeah. Urashima Otaru said, I bet Will didn't know they were separated.
Oh, that's
man.
even worse. She's like, look, I'm going to sleep at this house. You're going to sleep at this house.
I mean,
but we're still together.
Their mansion is so big, they could be separated in the same house, right?
There's a $20 one there from Retro. I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Retrocalypse?
Yes.
This show is my self-care as I reclaim my truth and do better.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
finding my authentic self and stepping into my happiness as I follow my heart. Thank you for being amazing humans.
That was rock on. Very good.
Can
Solid.
we refund that?
Based.
Can we refund that?
Queen.
I got to go. I'm out of here.
You have to go to therapy after that one.
That was
so
that.
funny.
That's another thing is people who like
Oh yeah,
evangelize
that was another
therapy.
thing in Love is Blind. All of the chicks, when they were asked what kind of guy are you looking for, the first thing they all said in unison was like, he has to be in therapy.
Oh my god.
Because men are all
Wow.
inherently broken individuals who need to fix themselves from their
Well, no,
inherent maleness.
But no, that's the problem. The women also believe that the women also are all in therapy as well. So they're saying like, if
A
I'm
lot of them
broken,
aren't, I bet.
If I'm broken and need therapy, it's not possible that somebody else isn't also.
Wait,
like,
okay. If they're in therapy, how have they never introspected in their fucking life? Ever. Before going on a reality TV show.
Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering.
Because
these
the-
therapists are not
because
doing
the-
their
the
job.
therapist
Therapist wasn't
aren't-
like, maybe the reality show isn't a great idea.
The therapist is not telling them to be introspective. The therapist is telling them that everyone around them is the toxic narcissist. That's the problem.
And that's what keeps them in therapy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Keep them broken.
200 Watt Studio said, if you put the seat down, then you can't see the art. What?
What?
Like pee art or something.
If you put this
Shane H. Wilder said, as a photographer, I wouldn't do that on a first date. At that point, it's not a date, it's a photo shoot. True.
Yeah, like, but also
You're
like,
taking photos of her for her Tinder profile for after she ghosts you.
there's a certain amount of like there's a well, cause it looked like a video too. It's like there's a certain amount of like the guy should just realize like maybe like how much do I care if the girl I'm in is like insanely into herself and terminally online, because if she's asking me to do this on a first date, that shows like a certain like lack of understanding of what your priorities are supposed to be in like certain social situations.
What about a
Yeah.
second
Yeah.
date?
So that's kind of actually on him in a way to be like, maybe this isn't the best. Like, I don't remember I didn't even see what the lady in that thing looked like, but like, even if she's really pretty, maybe you should tell yourself like, maybe this isn't the person I'm looking for. He also has to take responsibility because like, likely it's not going to get any better from there. It's probably downhill.
Yeah. DCNC said Dr. Ramani's podcast on narcissism is funded by Jada. What a supreme irony.
Oh, that's weird.
Really?
Creepy.
I listen to that chick sometimes because she's smart. She sounds
The
like
she
she
did
does
she
That's
did an
crazy.
interview with Evan Rachel Wood recently.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
about Manson.
yeah.
Jada or Dr.
No,
Ramani?
Dr.
Marilyn.
Dr. Ramani.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, when I was watching it, because she's like, because we did it on, we looked at it on the stream with Colonel Kurtz last Friday, and it was interesting the way she's kind of like also affirming someone. I hate that phrase as well. But she's like kind of like affirming everything that she's saying. And I'm like, I wonder, because assuming that like in these situations where she can't really know if she's telling the truth or not, you're really just taking someone at their word. Would she be willing to allow Manson the same leeway to like, if he was like, yeah, and that's when she did this, and she'd be like, oh yeah, like, would she be willing to reaffirm everything he says as well for the sake of being fair to both parties? But it didn't really seem that way. But
Papa Piker said there's no way we'll hit him. He's too much of a wuss, is what she was actually thinking.
That's funny.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to finally prove myself to her after 12 years of marriage.
Maybe she'll take me back.
How'd that go for you, Will?
Let's hold off on the rest and let's come back after the fact, shall we? Mary, tell us what's going on with Johnny Somali.
Not Tsunami. There is a U.S. streamer named Johnny Somali who has been arrested in Japan after trespassing and just generally harassing and threatening the public on public transport. And it included a threat of nuclear war.
This is not a joke.
I'm not exaggerating. He threatened that they were going to nuke Japan again.
I'm going to read you
people on public transport. He also entered one of their female-only train cars, which they have in Japan because there is a huge problem of sexual harassment and groping. So the females have to go in their own public transport.
There's a $20 one here from David Christian. Says, finally caught a bit live again. Usually watching at work at 3 a.m. Why years? Why did Will Smith slap Chris Rock? Why 7? I maybe meant 7 years. So like, why did he slap Chris Rock? Yeah, it's
we're not gonna ever know that.
Get my like common law divorced wife's name. Is that a thing? If you're married at 7 years is common law, right? Or if you're together for 7 years is common law. Is separated for 7 years.
Depending on where you are, yeah.
Get my common law divorced ex-wife's name. Outro. Get him out.
That's so funny.
But yeah, so
what I love about this is that Japan is extremely hard on crime, which is why people fawn over it, saying you always feel like you're safe in the streets. Like it's clean, you don't litter there. Yep. Like you will get jumped if you litter in Japan.
Wild.
And Japanese government don't, let people out on good behavior. They don't have parole, and they have a 99% conviction rate.
Yeah.
So he's been arrested. He's been detained. He's likely going to get possibly 3 years in prison.
I'm going to read this, what this tweet said. It said, Japanese government will hold him for 28 days. In those 28 days, they will use sleep deprivation tactics and hours upon hours of interrogation to break his mind and force him to confess his crimes of trespassing.
I'm laughing because
it's very Guantanamo. It's very Guantanamo.
Look, I'm laughing because streamers have proven themselves to be like public threats. Like streamers are public enemy number one.
We just talked about the guy.
And the government needs to take action because like Mizzy is allowed to just run rampant in the UK, invading people's homes, jumping people for entertainment value, and he doesn't get any consequences.
But we here in America have a beautiful thing called the Second Amendment, where if you just show up to a guy at the mall in Virginia, the fuck around and find out scale gets
did you guys see that? There's this prank YouTuber that got shot while he was
heard about that,
approaching someone to prank them.
Oh yeah, I did actually hear about that.
Yeah.
And the guy got acquitted.
I feel like this is the backlash against all streamers in general.
Yep.
And it's well needed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They just think that they can get away with anything.
Yeah.
And then he says, once he confesses, they will sentence Johnny to 3 years in prison. Then they will deport him back to America once he finishes his sentence. There is no early or good behavior parole in Japan.
Decoy voice said, what if they deported him to Somalia instead?
Yeah. Wait, is he actually Somalian or is he American?
He's American.
Okay. And then he made a follow-up video after threatening people on public transport. But let's show that video first.
Here we go.
You know Hiroshima?
This guy is so unlikable.
You know Hiroshima? Nagasaki? You know. Why you do this? Pearl Harbor?
Oh my God.
Hiroshima! Nagasaki! Yes, man, nigga, yes. Hiroshima.
If he was in New York, he would just get dropped.
Yep.
Yeah.
People in Japan are so polite and like patient and non-confrontational. Like it's just like their culture. So
Yeah.
if this was anywhere else, he would have gotten
Hiroshima,
punched or
Nagasaki.
shot.
You know what
Yeah.
we do to you niggas? Hiroshima, Nagasaki. We destroy it. Because you niggas don't know how to behave. Wallahi billahi wa tallahi. I swear to God. You do again, we're gonna do again. You understand?
This
You
is supposed to
understand?
be a
Hiroshima.
prank.
Yeah.
I don't know what the prank is other than just being a dick.
That's it.
Being annoying and not funny.
Hypocrite.
like,
Fix your behavior while he's the one screaming at them.
The
Like,
ironic
what?
part is like if you do things like this on public transport in New York, you actually won't get consequences because people are similarly just like the mindset
Well, we're
is
just
don't get
like-
involved. The
we're
mindset
also very-
is if you get involved, you will end up getting charged, not the person who is instigating it.
Yeah, I was just thinking that reminds me of a BART, like riding BART, like on a daily basis. Like in the
Same
Bay
thing.
Area, we have
Yeah.
BART, Bay Area Rapid Transit, and it's pretty much like that. And there's a lot of weirdos on there. And you
I
just
took the
don't
BART.
make eye contact.
Yeah.
I took
Yeah.
the BART a few times.
Yeah.
It's there was some
Used
weirdos.
to not be so bad. It's gotten really bad.
There was I mean even back then there was some weirdos.
Yeah. But it's like almost, I guess, because we're desensitized to it now, it's like one thing, but there it's like they actually press charges because they don't want it to become a thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they
Imagine
talk
that.
about in this article. It's like they have to push back against stuff like this so that people don't get the idea to just come here to try and become famous.
I guess
Yeah.
technically what he's being charged with is because he trespassed in a construction site in Japan. That was the technical charge. But he followed up this video from public transport, continuing his troll. He says that his rant on the train was meant to help President Joe Biden get reelected as he is coming to Japan to attend the G7 summit that month. Quote, so in order to help my president and help his re-election campaign, I decided to bring some publicity to the events that happened 80 years ago. It was actually patriotic a little bit to bring awareness to the tragedy because Joe Biden is coming and Joe Biden needs our help. And then he also finished the video saying, I'm converting to transgender. I'm joining the LGBTQ plus HDTV community. And I'm doing this so we could get cancel culture on my side. We are going to turn to transgender because I feel if you can't beat them in this day and age, you have to join them. So I am part of the LGBTQ HDTV plus community. How can you guys really cancel me?
I love the idea of just tacit admission that you just get beaten into submission these days. It's like, I can't beat them. I'm just giving up. I've just decided to join them.
I guess he's just trying to be edgy, but in order to like make an edgy joke, you have to have a punchline as well. Like you forgot the funny.
They also they mention Logan Paul's very
Logan Paul did the
Controversial.
same shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in Japan screaming, like running through the streets, being an absolute nuisance, then filming a dead body. And no one talks about that anymore. Like he totally got away with that.
Did he break the law?
He He had a severe and continuous lapse in judgment.
Write that one down.
We just it'll never go away because there's always going to be an incentive for people to do stupid things for the sake of fame, for the sake of becoming famous.
That's what Derek Hunter was saying on the show. Like, you can be in the middle of an intersection smearing feces all over yourself, and if you get attention, it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's no distinguishing between good and bad attention now.
And look at the I wonder how the climate activists who get throw stuff on paintings or sit in the middle of the road feel about like the
Well, at least they feel they have a reason.
Yeah, they've got a
other than a
cause.
self-serving one. They're
So
delusional.
what's
But at least
actually
they feel like
worse?
they're doing something to help the world.
What is actually worse, that or the people who are just doing it to, ice cream's so good?
The NPC streamers are at least doing that in the privacy of their own homes.
Unless they're in New York. There's those people in New
Oh,
York
yeah.
doing it out on the street.
Except for that.
There's people in New York just doing it out in public.
I don't know which is worse. Is it worse when you know you're just doing it for clout and fame, or is it worse when you're doing it and patting yourself on the back?
What keeps you
I
stuck
probably
more?
hate the people patting themselves on the back more, but
But some people just want to watch the world burn, and Johnny Somali is one of them.
him and you know what's going to be next, right? He's going to have a collab with Mizzy.
Yeah.
And that they'll do something together. They'll do a thing where they both.
I want him to go on Piers Morgan next.
That would be great. And Matan Evan.
Get shamed by Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
Matan Evan hasn't really done anything wrong, though.
I know, that's why he's awesome.
He just kind of shows up at places that you wouldn't expect him to be, but he doesn't do anything criminal.
And standing for landlords was the funniest thing that happened in all of 2023.
We love landlords.
It really was.
Also, there's a community note on this post saying there's video evidence of Johnny streaming his crimes. People gathered evidence of all the crimes he has committed. So doesn't look good for him.
Yeah.
do you think this is something that we can kind of shame out of the culture to like at a certain point? Actually, I don't think it's possible too, right? Because they used to talk about how like they would keep like women would go into porn and make a bunch of money, but you like the culture of shame around it kept women from wanting to go and do that for work. But
The
now
popular female streamers on Twitch are the like titty streamers, hot tub streamers.
Yeah.
All the raunchy shit. And then the popular male streamers on those platforms are just criminals because they can't capitalize off of sexuality. They have to capitalize off of committing
Disturbing
crimes.
the public.
it's harder to be
Actually
us.
being entertaining.
It's harder to be us. It really is. You know, you're not born with it. You gotta go find it. Unfortunately, for the rest of the world, that means we have to go out and be like and put upon the rest of the world, whereas you guys don't. You guys can do so from your own room, whereas like the guys have to go out and or I mean the white pill upside to that is like the ones who actually create interesting content, and that's just harder to do and takes longer, and a lot of times it's just easier to go and say what's your body count to somebody, right?
The street interviewers have gotten out of control.
I like it now.
You guys agree?
Yeah, like the chicks who are like, what would you rate me? Those chicks, those people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There was the ones that it was like what is like a red flag you like in a guy, and all the women's answers. It's like I couldn't tell if it was like very cleverly edited because
What
it's
were
like
they?
like the first one is it's obvious. It's some like when he's like when he's kind of controlling or something, like it's not a nice thing to be attracted to, but whatever. But then it cuts to clips where I don't know if he's actually asking them that question. And one girl's like, yeah, alcoholism. She's like, yeah, like when he's like an alcoholic. Like,
No, he asks the first one like what like red
Exactly.
flag or do you find attractive? The other ones he just asks like what are red flags?
yeah. So like, but then he cuts it in where it's like, she's like, yeah,
That's
I like
so
it when he's,
funny.
but there was the one that was like at some college campus. It was like the one girl like just like very, very casually said like when he hits me. And the guy is like,
Huh?
It was,
Okay, if anyone needs therapy, it's her.
Yeah.
dude, but like, yeah, like it's like, and I think a
Cry
lot
for
of it
help.
now is like, it's becoming like a weird type of like on the spot performance art for these girls who are just like, they probably don't even feel that way. They're just
They
saying
rehearsed
it.
it in the
Yeah.
mirror this morning, and they were like, "Oh, finally, a street interviewer."
I get to give the most ridiculous answer ever. Like, you know, like it's just the way it is. Like it's the internet culture seems like I want to make something that's going to be remembered. Like the girl who did the thing where she goes like a guy, like I had a sugar daddy who paid me to. Remember that one?
Oh.
to pee on it.
Yeah, and then she's like-
10K.
and then he was my no. She said did she say 10K?
She said it was 10K.
And it turned
Yeah.
out to be her professor.
Professor, and I was like, where are professors, even tenured professors, getting 10K? And I'm just picturing like, does she not have like a dad or a mom at home who are going to be like, but I guess like,
No.
or
No,
the mom,
answer is no.
or the mom is like,
not.
look,
Or they're just
the mom
don't
is
care.
desperate to
Yeah.
be seen as young like her daughter, so she's like, yeah, go get.
It's
peed
always
on.
the moms who are supportive of the OnlyFans pages.
My
You
parents-
never hear what
yeah.
the dad thinks.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Like my-
that really
yeah.
skinny girl, the famous one that dresses up. she's-
Eugenia Cooney.
Yeah, that
enabler mom.
Yeah,
Every time.
like she looks great. Like
all the
no.
trans kids, enabler mom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Munchausen's
Jazz
mom.
Jennings. Yep.
So
Yeah.
many, red flag moms out there.
Yeah, awful.
Yep, it's the way it
No
is.
bueno.
All right, let's go. We got a couple of super chats here, guys.
Derek Null said she said yes to Will to make Pav jealous. Who is that?
Pac? Like
Tupac.
You mean
oh,
Tupac? Like
It says
Pac?
Pav.
Likely
PAV.
means Pac, but yeah,
Okay,
like
Pavlov?
and all
what I
these
was
years
thinking.
later, she's going through buyer's remorse. She ended up with. I guess it wouldn't matter anyway. It's like, maybe if I had been with him, he wouldn't have been in that car that night, and You know?
That's really what it is. She just blames herself for Tupac's death. That's her problem.
I mean, that's probably what it'll end
It's
up
been
saying in the
haunting
book.
her all
she'll
this
she'll
time.
write it in her next memoir. She's like, and I tortured myself for years. I mean, and then in true like modern woman fashion, she's like, but I finally let go of all of the guilt I put upon myself. I'm like, no, put some guilt upon yourself.
Yeah.
It's okay to not.
It's a
to
natural
not
feeling.
forgive yourself for everything. Like a woman like, I cheated on my husband of 10 years, took the kids, and he had to go sleep in a blow up mattress and eventually offed himself. But I've forgiven myself
I've let it go.
for what I did. I've let it go. I've had to forgive myself for the sake of my
I
kids.
did the work.
And I'm like, and I'm just like, no, you don't need to forgive yourself. You can feel guilty. That's fine. Like,
We could all do with a little
both
more
care.
shame in this culture. Shane H. Wilder said Rosary Crew is literally live every day at 5 Central. Prayer intentions are taken in the chat.
Oh, nice.
I like the idea that you just like immediately after PCC ends, you go to Rosary Crew. Tacti Plati said, Brett, do you remember the X-Men made for TV movie Generation X from the 90s? Tacti Plati Farms remembers.
I do not. I do not remember that one. There's probably some really good. There have been some gifts that I've seen that were from stuff that I didn't recognize. So that could be what they're from.
Papa Piker said, we were in a limo and he asked if I had a lighter. I said yes. I don't know if I want to say that.
I thought that was going in like the Barack Obama direction.
The CD.
Yeah, like the CD case thing. The CD case of meth.
Yeah.
Also, is Papa Piker, is that Hassan Piker's dad? Inquiring minds want to know.
Or is it Cenk?
Is it? Well, that's his uncle, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Don't know.
There was a guy like where I lived in Minnesota. There's like an insurance guy, like a couple that had like an insurance company, and they'd have the bus benches, and the guy looked just like Cenk Uygur, and this guy's benches got handlebar mustaches on all of them from some brave soul who and I made sure to check. No other person who had like an insurance company bench like logo ever got vandalized. It was just the guy who looked like Cenk Uygur.
How unfortunate for him.
Yeah.
Woden Shot said, walking on Brett shells with these 50 characters.
Well, thank you.
Nice.
That was very nice. All right, guys. Before we go, would you hit the like button on this video? Would you subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed already? Thank you very much for that. Turn the notification bell on so that you can be notified anytime a new episode or a new segment goes live. Cara, thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure. I'm glad to be here.
Would you
It
like
was a
to
while.
Would you like to let everyone know where they can find you?
You guys can find me at members@timcast.com. If you have any questions with your memberships or a video's not playing or something,
Or
holler
if
at
you
your
just
sister.
need a therapy
If you just need a
session.
therapy session, you want to say hi, just holler.
See, that's when like free of charge. Shoot, though
Free of
no
charge,
HIPAA,
pro bono.
There's no like HIPAA binding laws, so she can yap whatever you say. to
Sure, yeah.
anyone.
For sure.
There,
Yeah.
there you go. Cara.
Oh.
Sarah. No, I said Cara.
Hi.
Sarah. Let everyone know where they can find you. That was bound to happen eventually, right? Sorry about that, guys. Let everyone know where they can find you.
You can find us on X at Casbrew Coffee, or you can find us on Instagram at Casbrew_coffee, or Casbrew.com if you'd like to buy some coffee from us.
Been any great
It's
memes
good.
lately?
Oh yeah, Chris Burtman keeps them like rolling out every day.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's what he's good at.
he's great at it. Appreciate it.
All right, Mary, where can they find you?
You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
Perfect. Guys, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twix and Instagram at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. Thank you very much for that. Also, to Mary's, what you said earlier, the show is hitting 10,000 subscribers or followers on Instagram soon. PCC?
Yeah, 10,000 followers on Instagram. I don't think we're there yet, though.
Very close, though. So
But if
go
you
ahead.
haven't followed the Instagram, please do.
Yep. All right. And if the show right here, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that is noon Pacific. If you'd like to listen to the audio version of this podcast, we are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. And if you'd like to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook and TikTok at popculturecrisis, Instagram at popculturecrisisPod. Help us get to 10K soon. We'll be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then, guys.
Bye.
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 I didn't actually forget the poll, guys. I was just looking to make sure that you guys remembered that I needed to end the poll.